We are sending Billy down to see the Towers of Light. They will be running for the next 32 days. I saw a little preview of them the other day when I was in Brooklyn, right across the water. It looked like they were testing them out a little bit. What I'd also like to do, Fez, is see how far away people can see the lights. 877-692-1027. It is, of course, 6 months to the day after the attacks on America. We have got Towers of Lights now where the World Trade Center was.
Yeah, the second of the two temporary memorials today. They dedicated the Sphere, that memorial, this morning, right at 8:46, the time the first plane hit the first tower. And then just a few minutes ago, Towers of Light turned on. All
right. If you can see him, let us know. 877-692-1027. Hey, John, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ron and Fez. How you doing?
How you doing, pal?
Hey, I'm at 18th Street, and, I was a little skeptical.
Yeah.
But I see them, and I am going to start the... It is. I mean, the proportion and the scale of the lights is, it's a little off, but it's truly an amazing sight.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, have a great day.
So it looks like the towers, but in lights.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little thinner, but it doesn't matter. It's truly a moving moment, I think.
Thank you very much, my friend.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call, John.
There you go, Fez. You can see it all the way from 18th Street. Hopefully a little further back from that. 877-692-1027. Hey, Bobby, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Bobby.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. What can we do for you, Bobby?
Yeah, I just want to say, I'm on top of a smokestack over here in the Bronx, and I can see him coming up great. I'm about 130 feet up in the air doing a job for CEF Services Incorporated out of Massachusetts. I had to get that plug in. I hope you don't mind.
Not at all, Bobby. How's it look to you from the Bronx?
It looks great. Like that last caller said, they look kind of thin. It's too bad they couldn't do the whole scale. But it looks great. I mean, it's going as far as you can see up. Yeah, it's just great. Great to see.
Thank you very much, my friend.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Bobby.
The lights are up as a memorial service, Fezzy, scheduled for the next 32 days. That's one day for every nation who lost somebody on September 11th.
And we should be hearing from our own Billy Staples as soon as he gets to the scene.
Here's Gary. Gary, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Gary.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, guys. I'm in Montclair, New Jersey. I can see the lights. Not any form, just some lights up in the sky, and I can see them lighting up the clouds.
Now, could you always have seen that before? Could you have seen the towers from Montclair?
I could see the skyline. I could just see the tops of them sometimes, but these things go way up in the sky. I see them all the way, way up higher than the towers ever were.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to run all the way up to the clouds. Thank you very much, my friend.
You too. Have a good night.
Yeah, I guess I heard they're supposed to go shoot up a mile into the sky.
Well, all right. So far, Fezzy, the initial feedback seems to be somewhat of a hit. Hey, Mike, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Driving West Shore Expressway, Staten Island. I can see the beams from here.
How's it look to you?
It's really freaky. On a clear day, I used to be able to see the towers for one stall stretch. But now on the left of me, I have, you can't see them now, but there are piles of smashed cars and all the debris that they're taking back.
Right.
So now on the right, I got the towers.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike. I got to see these things for myself now. The television image didn't look all that strong.
Yeah.
It looked like a couple of lines going across the TV set. But I think it's just this crappy set we have in here.
All right, Jim. Jim, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, good.
I'm a New York City fireman. I live in Middletown, New York. I'm from the Bronx. We can see the lights from there.
You can see them from Middletown?
About 71 miles north of the city.
Nice.
Now, what's it look like from there? Just lights in the sky?
It's just two lights up into the clouds.
Hey, Jim, what did you think of the show last night on CBS?
The show was down to earth. It was it showed a lot, and I think the public, the American public, should have saw it.
From what I understand, at least from the Drudge Report, Fezzy, huge ratings in New York City. Like half the television sets tuned to that. Around the country, it looked like about a third of the television sets. All right, thank you very much. I thought it was an amazing show.
It wasn't what I was expecting at all. I thought it was just going to be footage. I didn't know we were actually going to meet firefighters.
Yeah, well, I guess that was the show that they were shooting at the time, was just what life is like to be, what do they call that, a plebe? Is that the name of it?
Probe.
Probe. All right, a plebe is in the Navy or something, right? So it's a probe. That's when you're starting with the fire department. And this kid looks so nervous just about fitting in.
Yeah,
And,
about doing anything. You know, cooking, cleaning, all of it.
And his first big fire is September 11th. Here is Francine. Francine, where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, we're trying to hear you.
I just watched in Woodridge, and there were a lot of people who don't work during the day and were there and watched them actually when they fell, and there were people with kids, and we had the radios playing. Well, on 1010 Winds, they had the America the Beautiful was being sung, and there was just a whole crowd of people that were there. I actually sat there an hour to wait to see it.
I'm trying to understand her. Fuzzy, are you saying you were there when you were in New York when they lit it, or you were in Woodbridge?
Woodridge. And
Woodridge.
That's where I was. No, Woodridge, another town, smaller town.
Yes, we keep saying Woodridge.
Watching in the Bank of New York parking lot with a whole lot of people that were there, watched them the day that they fell.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Francine.
What's she talking about, Fez?
I think she's saying that the same people that she watched the towers fall with, she watched the towers of light go up with.
Ah, okay.
I think that's what she's trying to say.
All right, thanks a lot.
And it's Woodridge. Woodridge.
Hey, Mike. Mike, you're around Fez.
Hey, Mike.
How you doing, guys?
Yeah.
I just want to let you know it's Proby, and it's short for probationary firefighter.
Proby, that's right. Proby, not Proby.
And, I thought they did it really tastefully, and they really brought this kid out into the light and showed what it's like to be a firefighter in New York City.
Yeah, I thought it was an amazing show. I really did. Fezzy kind of said that, he didn't expect that whole backstory to it. I thought the two French brothers, that was a kind of a sweet story, too, of two guys that were doing this thing, and you don't know where your brother is the whole time. When they found each other, that was pretty touching.
But it also brings me on, not only the brotherhood between these two guys, but they were accepted into the brotherhood of the fire department.
Yeah, I mean, the fire department there, it's like the exact kind of men that men like. It's the exact type of relationships guys want to have with other guys. It was really, really sweet. All right, thank you very much, Mike.
All right, guys, peace out.
That's it.
In the earlier footage, of course, before the 11th, you got to see all the ball busting that goes on.
And the great eating.
Which is, I know, the steaks cooking. And the baked potatoes being thrown around.
The amount of meat being taken care of was unbelievable. Hey, we're checking to see how far away people can now see the towers, the light towers that they put up for the next 32 days. Here's Steve. Steve, you're on Run Fez.
Hey, Steve, where are you calling from, buddy?
Carteret, New Jersey.
All right.
I can see them beautifully, actually. Really nice shot.
Is that right? Now, how far away is that?
Oh, God. I've got to be at least 25 miles.
All right. Is it something that you feel like makes you feel better to be able to look up and see that?
Yeah, it just keeps you reminded about it, all the tragedies that happen. But I like it. I think it's really nice. It's a nice reminder. It keeps us, set where we are and keeps you thinking. So.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks, Steve.
I don't know who really came up with the idea, but it seems to be working so far. If you get a chance, if you're driving, look over towards Manhattan, or if you're at home, look out the window. It's something definitely, a lot of people going, what do you tell the kids and stuff? This is a thing for the kids, I'm sure, too. Hey, Terry, you're on Run Fez.
Hey, Run Fez, how you doing?
Yeah.
I work right by Newark Airport, right alongside the Turnpike extension. And I tell you what, it's a sight for sore eyes. It's beautiful. You see the Empire State Building lit up red, white, and blue to the north. And as you look down, it's Twin Towers in my book, with the rest of the skyline down in southern Manhattan there. It's beautiful.
Thank you very much, Terry.
All righty.
Here's Frank. Frank, you're on Run Fez.
Hey, Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frankie, you're on the air.
How you guys doing tonight, buddy?
All right.
I'm over at JFK, and I can see them as clear as day over here.
Can you?
Yeah, they look beautiful from here.
Thank you very much. So far, Fezzy, it looks like people are enjoying these.
Liking the new Towers of Light that just went up probably about 15 minutes ago, a little over 15 minutes.
Hey, Van G, you're on Fez.
Yes, hi, how you doing?
Hey,
I'm up here in Harlem.
Hey, Van G?
Yes.
Fezzy says hey.
Hey, Fez.
Hey. Hey, Vanjie.
How you doing?
Good.
I can see just one very faintly.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, do you think you can just see one, or do they both look like they're, together from that far away?
Just blending in.
Yeah.
Maybe they're blending in. I'd have to get... But if they're blending in, they're really close.
And what is it, a blue light?
Sort of a bluish, whitish light. Because it's kind of hard because there's just a lot of light around.
Yeah, I imagine it will be easier to see it from Jersey or Long Island than it would be actually in the city.
Yeah, because there's so much interference.
All right.
I can see them. Or one, at least.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Vanjie.
Here's Doug. Doug, you're on Ron and Fez. We're talking about the new Towers of Light.
Hey, boys, what's going on?
Hey,
I'm
man.
on the turnpike. Just coming back from bike week, and I can see them shining up at the light, and they're beautiful. Let the people know. And people at Fort Fordham try to save them aren't forgotten, man.
Thank you very much, Doug. All right, seems to be some nice feedback on it. We can't see them from where we are tonight, but when you said you got it on TV, Fez, it's not really coming across on TV?
On TV, it doesn't look as brilliant as the callers are letting on.
All right, here's Frank. Frank, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Frank.
How's it going?
Yeah.
You there?
Yeah, we're right here, buddy.
All right, yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm a volunteer firefighter in New Jersey at a big pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
I just left work, which is in Rahway, New Jersey, and I'm actually headed to a hockey game, so I'm driving west, heading out to Route 22, and I just keep looking over my shoulder, and I can see them now. I'm in Scotch Plains, so I mean, you can't make them out like distinct towers or anything, but It's just a beautiful sight. You can see the clouds lit up there, and just from personally being there, the day it happened, they sent us over, and it really warms my heart.
All right, thank you.
Beautiful tribute, guys. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the call, Frank.
I don't think I've ever heard whose idea this was.
I don't know who came up with this one, but it seems to be for the 6-month anniversary. People we're talking to. They're digging it.
The other situation from that show last night, 9/11, on CBS, because we're talking about the 32 days is for every country that lost people. When they were just showing all the different voices on the streets of New York, the different accents and languages, trying to figure out what the hell was happening that day. People that don't come into New York City, people from around the country, have no idea what a melting pot this is. People have always called America a melting pot. But New York City, Manhattan, and even especially downtown Manhattan, it is amazing how many different languages you can hear.
They had those three guys, those three different nationalities, trying to all explain to each other exactly what had happened.
Yeah. They did. And it was very tough to hear. Hey, Hard Rock Johnny, you're on the air.
Hey, fellas, how are you?
Where you at tonight, Johnny?
Way out in Jersey, back by my house. It's maybe 30 miles away.
Uh-huh.
And I'm up in this area where no one ever is, and there's just tons of cars and people, and you could see it as clear as day. I mean, you really only see one going up, but it goes up forever.
That's sweet, man.
It's a real fitting tribute, I think, to at least a start,
Yeah.
How cloudy is it out there?
It's really clear. I mean, you could see the city you could see clearly, if the towers were there, you'd be able to see them. You could see the Empire State Building. I mean, it's a pretty clear night.
Thanks a lot, my friend.
All right, see ya.
I'd say, one of the interesting things here is that a lot of times people are talking about what kind of memorial to have, and it seems like whatever we do has to be high. And then other people are nervous about, hey, if we build big buildings, they're just going to hit them again. There's that whole fear factor about it. But this seems to be a smart situation. I don't know whether we could do it, long term with lasers or something like that, but a chance for that New York City skyline to reach far into the sky again.
Yeah, some of the things they talked about is if it's too cloudy, they're not going to turn them on because it'll just bounce into people's windows. So they're going to take care of that. And then, of course, there was that bird situation that came up.
Hey, Paul, you're on Ron Fez.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah, hey, how you doing? You guys got a great show.
Yes, we do.
Went over the Tappan Zee Bridge, looking right down the Hudson. You can see the city lights, and you just see one because they're kind of beside each other, whatever. But looks pretty good. That's a good way to look at the city, anyway. Down the Hudson, the lights come up with CW.
Thanks a lot, my friend.
Yep.
Thanks for the call, Paul. 877-692-1027.
Hey, John, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, John.
Miss you. Try it again. Hey, John, you're on Run of Fez.
John, you're on now.
Okay. I'm about like 10 miles from the Lincoln Tunnel in Jersey, and I could see them going up in like one straight line, and then when you get to the top, it's only about, you could see the two of them pretty clear. But they're no stronger than like if they were opening a new club and they had like the strobe lights going. I would like to see something like a lot stronger.
Yeah, all right, thanks a lot. Well, they said they were only going to do this one for 32 days, but maybe, Fezzy, they're onto something with this light show. Here's Bill. Bill, you're on Run of Fez. How are you, my friend?
Hello, Bill.
Yeah, hey, what's going on, bro?
Yeah.
Yeah, the show you saw last night, you know, they had the documentary.
Yeah, 9/11 was the name of it.
Yeah, that is truly what it is to be in a firehouse. I'm a New York City fireman. It's just like that. You can't wait to go to work.
It really made it feel like, well, you know how guys, a lot of guys will fantasize about being part of a sports team, and you never forget that sports team that you were a part of when you were younger, and you kind of miss that as you get older. That's what belonging to the firehouse kind of reminded me of, that you had that real male camaraderie and good natured ball busting, and great food. I can't believe how good everybody was cooking.
Well, you don't see too many skinny firemen, do you?
No, you don't.
No, it really is. Every guy that I've ever met that was a fireman, you know, like you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh Jesus, I gotta go to work.
Right.
And it's not like that. It's like, oh, I gotta go to work. You know, you're psyched to go in. You know, every time. You can't wait to get there. You feel you go away for a week or two on vacation with your family. You feel guilty that you haven't been at the firehouse. You know, it's a family. You can't describe it. You know, but that truly did just.
Those guys they showed were great. The guy who was complaining when the French guys didn't cook enough food.
Yeah.
They said another couple meals like this we'd be able to share shirts. They didn't know how funny they were.
I'll tell you, some of the funniest people I've ever met, you know, are just in the firehouse. You know, the roughest place to be in a firehouse is the kitchen.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
That's the one guy that's going to take the ribbon.
It all happens in the kitchen, my friend.
Now, the other situation that was pretty touching was just looking to see that those guys looked like they had the same kind of fear on their faces that I would have if I was in that situation, and yet they went with it. And like a lot of times you think, you know, when you get that hero thing, it's almost a Superman, but they're just regular guys. They were there, and they were just as scared as anybody else, but they stayed. It was amazing.
Everybody that was there, that went there that day, knew that everyone that went there wasn't coming home.
Right.
And, it was, and it didn't stop. You know, they knew someone wasn't going to come home.
And that calm they were showing in the lobby, like with Commander Pfeiffer, you'd expect that many guys in the lobby, somebody would be screaming.
Right.
Every one of them.
Everybody was doing their job. Everybody was staying cool. Nobody was flipping out.
Well, you know, you just get into your. Everyone knows their job. You know, they know what they got. They know what they're supposed to do. They know what's expected of them, so they just do it.
You know, the other interesting thing was how more clear and able those guys were able to say, more than like the news events that they have going, no, this happened on purpose. And as soon as there was that rumble, the chief was saying, get my guys out of there. Who knows how many lives he saved, because he couldn't even tell from where he was at.
Oh, yeah.
Of what the hell was happening. He was like, let's rock. Let's get everybody down.
He had a bad feeling about that whole thing from the second it happened, you know. I mean, I was at home and I saw it happening. The first plane I thought was like, wow, that's a freaky freaking accident, you know. It never dawned on me that it was, you know, it was in the back of my mind, maybe this is an attack, you know, but it just seemed like, wow, it's just a real freak accident. And then the second plane hit, it just, you know, it ripped my heart out. I knew something.
Yeah, it was an awful day. Thank you very much, my friend, Bill.
All right.
Take care.
God bless America.
All right.
Thanks, Bill.
We are talking a little bit about the 9/11 documentary that was on last night, which, you know, before it came out, a lot of people were saying, do we really need this? And then after people saw it, it had a lot of effect on people. I think it was a lot of great human feelings to get out of that, a real closeness to feel for the guys who do that job in the fire department in New York. Also talking about the lights tonight, Fuzzy.
The towers of light that just got illuminated about a half hour ago down near Ground Zero.
We are sending our own Billy Staples down that way. Hey, Billy, you're on the air. Can you hear me, buddy?
Yeah, hey, Ron. Hey, Fez.
Yeah.
Hey, Billy Staples.
Walking right now down Vesey Street, people everywhere just staring up in amazement at these two beams of blue light just shining all the way up into the heavens. It's absolutely amazing to see this.
It's nice up close, is it, Billy?
Ron, I'm about 2 blocks north of it. I'm just by Ground Zero, south, excuse me. I'm right by Ground Zero right now, and the lights are actually just a little 1 block north of Ground Zero.
Yeah.
So I'm actually walking right toward it. It's like if inanimate objects could leave a ghost. Ronnie, this is what it reminds you. It looks like the ghost of the Twin Towers, like some ghost-like apparition just shining up into the heavens, which is quite appropriate. It looks like it goes all the way up.
So, at first I thought this would be more of a thing for people to see on the outside of the city, but maybe this is the type of thing to bring people into the city at night.
Well, if this crowd size here is any indication of, it's like very difficult to walk, because everyone is just walking, their heads up in the air. No, thank you. And it's just like everyone's just walking around, heads up in the air, just staring at these huge, and they look blue. I guess because of the sky or whatever. But they go over a mile in the sky, and they say they can be seen for about 20 miles in the distance.
All right, Billy, stay in touch with us on this. I never thought of it that way, Fezzy, about people actually coming in to be close to these things. You know, we've been talking about getting people back downtown at night. I know Little Italy went through some trouble in Chinatown, Tribeca area.
And the Spear Memorial that they opened this morning at 8:46, I think they set that up so that when you come to see that, you can actually touch it.
Right.
When you go around it.
I know, but, whatever kind of memorial we do, I hope it's something that reaches into the sky like those towers did. I know a lot of people were afraid of that. Maybe this is a way of doing both with these lights. Hey, Eddie. Eddie, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Eddie.
Hey, how you doing, Ron and Fez?
What can we do for you, Eddie?
What's up? Listen, I'm a firefighter in New Jersey, volunteer. I spent some time over there as well, and one thing I wanted to say that a lot of people don't realize, the FDNY, there are heroes. We're volunteer firefighters. People call us heroes? No way. They're the heroes. They're our brothers. They're the heroes of the FDNY. That's our guys. Wanted to say God bless them and God bless America.
Thank you very much, Eddie.
Thank you.
Here's Molly. Molly, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, Molly.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I live in Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey, which is kind of central Jersey, and I can see them.
Is that right?
Yes. I'm pretty far away, and it's kind of foggy, but you can still see them pretty good.
Molly, tell me the truth. How's that feel to you to be able to see that in the sky again?
It feels really good, because I have a pretty good view of the skyline anyway. So, without them there, it was really sad, but now that you can see them again, it's a nice feeling.
All right, honey.
All right, thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for the call, Molly.
Oh, you're welcome.
Here's Ryan. Ryan, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hi, Ryan.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I'm sitting over here right across the river from the Empire State Building, and I can actually see it beautifully from my roof. I watched them fall down from the roof, and it's kind of come full circle seeing them back up. It's kind of like in the end of Ghost, when Patrick Swayze's walking off. It's like an omniscient feeling.
Yeah.
Seeing them all with the light and everything. I actually I'm trying to take pictures of it with my digital camera. Maybe if you guys want, I'll email them to you or something.
Yeah, I wish you would.
That'd be cool.
Let me get, you got an address or something?
Yeah, just send them to Ron and Fez at WNEW or Ron and Fez at AOL.com.
All right, I'll see what I can do for you, fellas.
All right.
All right, bye.
Thanks, Ryan.
Hey, Chris. Chris, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, Chris.
How you doing, Ronnie and Fezzy?
Hey, buddy.
What's up? Listen, when they first turn them on, it takes a half hour for them to get at full power.
Really?
That's interesting.
That's why you really don't see them as well as, in the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, that's good.
Because when I first saw them on television, they looked kind of faint.
Yeah, well, it's the light that heats up, and once it gets to the full power, after about a half an hour, 45 minutes, you can see them, and they become individual lights instead of it looks like one light at first.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris.
Hey, Mark. Mark, you're on the Ron and Fez show. How you doing, buddy?
Mark.
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen?
cruising down Ocean Parkway, heading towards Long Beach out here on Long Island, and it's a beautiful sight. Pretty close with a lot of guys at Cantor that, are no longer there. And I think what really got me last night was watching that documentary where they were, you hear that crashing, and at first I'm like, what the heck is that crashing?
Unbelievable. I never thought...
And it's people just jumping.
Yeah.
Just jumping off the...
And how loud that was, and the force that was shaking the ground with.
Oh,
amazingly loud, and it felt like it was part of the building coming down. Because you would just hear more shattering.
I just to know, like that one fireman said, he goes, faced with either doing this, leaping to my death, or burning alive, these people, this is the choice they had.
Yeah, that's the better choice. It was unbelievable when that line came across.
Listen, don't cut me off, but I want to give a special shout-out to my boy Fester, who quit sales today to become NYPD because of that video last night. And, it's good for him, buddy, and he's going to be a hero, too.
All right, thanks a lot. Hey, Joe, you're on Around a Fez.
Hi, Joe.
Hey, guys. I just passed through Rockaway on the other side of Jamaica Bay, and the lights looked fantastic.
Is that right?
Yeah, there were a lot of people who came out, and they were up against the seawall, and they were looking toward the city, and it looks kind of like I was trying to count, and from that distance, about 20 miles out, it looks like about 20 to 25 Empire State Buildings, like the distance of the Empire State Building that you see from Rockaway, on top of each other. It looks like it goes up miles. I mean, it really looks fantastic, and it's good to see.
All right, thank you very much, my friend.
Thanks, guys.
In a simple term, it seems like people are really grateful to have something to look at and focus on in South Manhattan again.
It's weird because I don't think, 6 months after, you talk about it every once in a while, then it puts you behind it. But I don't think you realize when you're looking at that skyline how much that you missed any part of that,
And people still, anytime you're going over a bridge or coming in and out of Manhattan, you just naturally look that way.
Right. Here's Carol. Carol, you're on Run a Fez.
Hi, Carol.
Hi.
Yeah.
What can we do for you, Carol?
I'm calling. I came from West Haven, Connecticut, just seeing how far into New York I could get to see it. And I ran out of gas somewhere around Rye. I have to thank some gas station attendants who told me to travel about 10 minutes. There was a railroad bridge that you could see it directly from somewhere in Rye, New York.
And you're able to see it from there?
Yep.
How's it look to you, Carol?
It was faint, but it was good.
All right, thank you very much.
Yep.
I'm sure that tank's full.
Yeah, I never understand a lot of the girl colors.
No,
It's very silly.
She came to New York to see how close she had to be to see them. We're kind of checking on how far away you can still see them.
I don't want to do the stupid girl thing, but
sometimes they
Joe,
beg for it.
Joe, you're on Run a Fez. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, Joe.
Yo, what's up, Ron and Fez?
Yeah.
But
I'm here in Brooklyn. I could see them miles into the sky. It's like a bluish, whitish light.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I also heard on the news the astronauts that are in space.
Yeah.
No kidding. They said they could see light coming from New York.
Is that right?
That's pretty impressive.
I really heard that on the news.
All right, thanks a lot.
See you.
All right, so maybe as we get into a permanent type of memorial, Fezzy, that maybe light is something. Personally, I'd like to see some big towers up again. But I know a lot of people are scared about that. What about you? Would you work if they rebuilt something that size? Would you want to work up there?
Yeah, I would go back into it.
Even though you know that the enemies of us are...
The way I figure now, everything's a target.
Yeah.
And, the building we're in right now, all the island of Manhattan, it all seems to be a target.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. If you can see the lights, let us know. We've got Billy Staples down there checking out close. He claims up close it's just stunning, Fez.
I can't wait to see this now.
It's 877-692-1027. 6 months after 9/11, the towers of light are up in the air. You're listening to Ron and Fez.
Ron and Fez. 1027 WNEW.
Walk back down.
Just under an hour ago, the towers of lights were lit in South Manhattan. We're Ron and Fez.
Turned around. Getting a lot of calls, Fezzy, from all over. People seeing them very, very far away. As far as what was the furthest? 71 miles.
Right.
In Middletown.
Yeah, we heard that.
We've got our own Billy Staples, who's right downtown, right there at Ground Zero. Billy, you're on the air with us. Can you hear us?
Yeah. God, I love being in New York, guys. I am standing in 10 feet from the lights themselves, shooting straight in the air. And from this angle, it's, you know, if you didn't know what it was, guys, you'd swear that God was shining lights upon New York. Because that's what it appears like. I'm just sitting here staring straight up. Each one is like 50 feet, 44 lights. Just it is an unbelievable moving sight. Everyone's just walking around, pointing cameras, everything straight up in the air with their mouths open, like unbelievable. It's like the towers are back.
Billy, you can get that close, 10 feet away?
Yeah. Ronnie, I can reach my hand down now and almost touch the scaffolding that the lights are on.
Billy, don't, okay?
It seems like he's going to get burnt.
Yeah.
Touching hot lights.
Well, they're elevated about 15 feet in the air.
So are you
on a big scaffolding, so you can't actually touch the lights, but the framework and everything is not 10 feet from me.
Do you think it'd be an enjoyable thing for people to come in the city and see them from that direction?
Without it, because you can see right where I am. It's almost like I'm right in between both of the lights. And to just sit here and to look straight up and get the perspective of being below them,
yeah,
it is. It looks like it's divine. It's like almost heavenly. And I mean, I hate to keep using the same word over and over again, but that's certainly what it seems like.
So you can appreciate them from your angle.
Yes.
And it's just as impressive as seeing them far out.
You know what it is? I bet you guys, I bet you can even see this from the roof of the building. Where you guys are at right now.
Yeah, we can't. We're getting calls of people seeing it from up to 70 miles away, Billy.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I can't, even from further away, it looks like they just disappear up into the sky. It looks like they go forever.
What kind of crowds are there downtown?
Very crowded.
Yeah.
Very crowded. Obviously, a lot of media, but a lot of people. It almost reminds you of running time horror films, where everyone's just staring up and pointing in the sky and stuff.
We didn't hear what you were saying. Reminds you of what?
It's like almost reminds you of the old-time horror movies, where like with Godzilla or aliens, when everyone's just looking.
I mean,
around.
this is a nice thing, right?
Yeah.
So you think more like a Close Encounters of the Third Kind,
right? With nice
like
things going on.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of tourists, a lot of people, a lot of New York. A lot of people showing their support with their NYPD hats, the FDNY hats, and people are cheering.
All right, thank you very much, Billy.
I'm going to, if you want, I'd like to go down to Battery Park to check out the Sphere.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I'll give you guys a call from down there.
We'll talk to you from there.
Thanks, Billy Staples.
He's really trying so hard.
He really is.
He tries to be good.
At first, I thought he said an old-time Harlem movie, which I didn't know what that meant. And he said horror movie.
Any other night, I'm just paying no attention to him. Just, you know. But tonight, I felt like, okay.
He's a man struggling with his emotions, Ronnie.
Always. No matter when. Hey, Bob, you're on Ron and Fez.
How you doing, Ron and Fez?
Yeah. Hey, Bob.
Hey, I work in Central Jersey, live in Pennsylvania, but I wanted to go down to Jersey City to see them light these tonight.
Right.
And I was over at the Liberty Park area. There were a number of Jersey firefighting companies down there with the fire engines, and as soon as they lit the lights, the fire engines that were there turned on their lights and their sirens and horns. I tell you what, there was, a couple hundred people easily down there. There was not a dry eye around there when the fire engines started hitting their sirens. It was amazing. Comment, too, on the show last night, on the 9/11 show.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the things that they showed in that documentary was, I believe his name was Father Judd.
Yeah.
The chaplain.
Father Judge.
That the story that they had out on September 11th was that he died administering last rites.
Yeah.
If I remember right, they said he was hit by falling aircraft parts that had fallen out of the tower.
I had heard once that it was a body, too, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, but the story last night, that's not what appeared to happen. Not that it diminishes what he did, but it seemed to be contradictory to what they were saying about him.
I don't think that they said how he died.
No, well, he was in when they went down, when Tower 2 collapsed and all the dust and everything got in there and they couldn't see. They said he was down there in that escalator area, and then they carried him out of there.
Yeah, but they didn't say exactly what hit him or how he died. I mean, that was not the focal part of the story. And I thought what was interesting about that 9/11 show is it didn't try to be the definitive version of what happened that day. It was just telling the story of this one group of guys in this fire department.
See, now that I didn't know was going to be part of it, that they would focus on that ladder company.
Right.
And I didn't know the story of that ladder company, and I was getting pretty anxious because I didn't know that all those guys made it back.
Yeah, pretty amazing that they all made it back.
And with the probie, the rookie, Tony, and they were looking for him, and 9 hours later he wasn't back, and they actually went to spots, the commercials saying, but what about Tony?
Right.
Oh, God, I was just getting sick.
Here's Dan. Dan, you're on Ron and Fez. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, Dan.
How you guys doing?
We're okay, bud.
I'm over in Newark. I just drove home through the Lincoln Tunnel and kind of got a good perspective on how the lights look. It looks pretty good. I'm also, it just so happens I'm a psychiatry resident in the city, and so I was sort of involved in some of the stuff in the aftermath and helping out down at the pier and whatnot. And saw a guy today who just showed up a month ago, 5 months after this happened, just still suffering from what happened. That basically, lives down in Battery Park, and for him, the whole area of the city is just it's like somebody who they wash their hands, and no matter how much they wash them, they still feel like it's dirty. It's like really awful.
What's his point?
The guys that helped out still are feeling it so much that they still feel it's all over them.
Yeah, it's. I think that
they can't get clean.
I think that the city hasn't totally recovered yet. I think it's important that they do this. That people still are reminded, and that people don't forget too easily, and get lulled to sleep by forgetting about it.
Thanks a lot, Dan. He was lulling me to sleep a little bit fast. When a shrink starts to talk, I never know what he's talking about. Why does everything got to be a metaphor? I was like, it was hypnosis.
If that's his gig as a therapist to calm people down, he's got the voice for it.
Well, we have people driving listening to the show.
I don't know if he would actually help anyone through their problem because they'd fall asleep while discussing it.
Yeah. The only thing I would go to him for if I was insomniac.
Hey, put that in front of therapists. He's all set.
Yeah, here's Jules. Jules, you're on Ron and Fez. How's it going, man?
Hi, Jules.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good.
I'm down in Middletown, New Jersey. I don't know if you know where it is. Just to give you an idea, it's down like near Red Bank, Sandy Hook area, and I could see the lights faintly above the tree lines from my house. So they're pretty bright.
How far away is that about? About an hour?
I'm about an hour outside of Manhattan, so I'm a good 45 miles.
45 miles, and you can see it from there.
Honestly, it's giving me the chills because the day it happened, I'm a cop in Bayonne, 5 minutes outside of Manhattan, and it's kind of bringing me back to that day when I got called in on my way to work.
Right.
It's kind of a scary moment.
All right, thank you very much, my friend.
All right, take it easy.
Thanks for the call, Jules.
Here is Andy. Andy, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey. What can we do for you tonight, Andy?
I called before on Friday talking about that I lost my dad in there and if I was going to watch it, and I really liked it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was great, actually.
Did you really?
Yeah. It wasn't as graphic as I thought it would be.
Yeah, I think they went out of their way to be tasteful. That they had stuff that they could have showed but didn't. And I don't think they were going out of their way to show us the most shocking footage they could. I think they were trying to just give a feeling what those one guys in that firehouse were going through.
Honestly, it was handled a lot more professional than I thought it might have been.
Yeah.
Going into it. So I really liked it, and it was good, I thought.
Thank you very much, Andy, and I'm sorry for your loss.
Thanks, boys.
Did you see the lights tonight?
I'm like 50 miles away in Jersey, and I'm looking that way. And I'd like to say I see something, but I think that's just my mind saying there's lights up. But
maybe you'll come cruising in one night in the next month or so.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, pal.
All right.
Thanks for the call, Andy. There was a lot of stuff in the 911 special last night on CBS I didn't know happened. I didn't know that the jet fuel poured down the elevator shafts.
I do remember hearing that.
But I remember, that woman that got burned, she was on Oprah today.
Right.
I remember hearing about that, but I didn't know that's how it happened.
Mm-hmm.
That elevator that just opened up in the middle of everything.
That was the strangest situation where those people looked like they came walking off a spaceship. You know what I mean? They were literally so far away from everything that was happening because they were living in the innocence of, oh, we're in a stuck elevator. How little they knew what was actually happening. How close they came to death.
Yeah, not a clue of why the elevator was stuck. If they were in it, when the plane hit, who knows?
Well, yeah, that's why. That's why they were in that elevator. The plane hit, but they're, they just, all they know is their elevator went out. And they're sitting up there, what the F? And that thing looked like it came down on its own. It's not like somebody fixed that elevator.
Right. No one was over there. They just kind of looked over. The door popped open, and people started walking out.
All right, Chris. Chris, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Chris.
Hey. Yeah, hey, Ronnie. Hey, Fezzy.
What's up, Chris?
How you guys doing? I'm a firefighter in Central Jersey, town right next to New Brunswick. We're about 40 miles, I guess, outside the city, and we can see it pretty clear here. Just wanted to say, too, I think, when these things get going full power, Ronnie's or Fezzy's fiance up in Canada is going to be able to see these things, man. And, just want to thank CBS for doing such a tasteful job with what they did last night. It really, made things a lot easier for a lot of us.
All right, thank you very much, my friend.
Yeah, have a good night.
All right, so far, Fezzy, all good reviews on people who are looking up at the lights. They seem to like that. And also with that show last night, 9/11. Here's John. John, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, John, you're on the air, buddy.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm in Riverdale, New Jersey, on top of a pretty dark mountain, about 80 miles west. I can see clear as day. I can even see the Empire State Building lights flashing.
How many miles, John?
About 80.
80.
About 80 miles.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
All right, thank you very much, my friend, for calling.
Have a good day.
All right. 80 miles away, you can see it from that lookout point, Fezzy.
The towers of light that went up just about an hour ago, 877-692-1027.
Hey, Mark. Mark, you're on Ron and Fez.
How are you?
Yeah.
I just want to let you guys know I was actually down there when it happened, and I was relocated to Jersey City for 6 months. And it's good to see when you're on the turnpike. I'm actually down at exit 9 right now. You see something in that spot again, and it's really good to see. And any of you who can get down to Exchange Place down in Jersey City by the water, it's an unbelievable sight. I highly recommend checking it out from there.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Take care, guys.
Thanks for the call, Mark.
It's amazing the feelings are coming out tonight, Fezzy, of people who did not expect to feel this way, looking up and seeing those lights.
From the people we talked to, it seems like a lot of them being comforted by the fact that something's standing there again, even if it's just light.
Here is Rachel. Rachel, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, what's up? I just heard about the lights on the show, so I went to look to see if I could see it.
Uh-huh.
And I live in Flatbush, Brooklyn. I don't know if you know where that is.
Sure.
Yeah, and I could see them perfectly. I see a blue light just in the air. It's like amazing.
All right, and that's in Flatbush. You can see it pretty good.
Yeah, it's about an hour out of Manhattan.
All right, thank you very much, baby.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for the call, Rachel.
Here's Matt. Matt, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hi, Matt.
Yeah, hi. I just thought it was amazing that they had gotten footage of the first plane flight. They were out on a routine call and, just comfortable in how safe the day was, and all of a sudden they hear that rumbling, and you saw the plane go right into the first tower.
Yes, you did.
It was really something to see.
The other strange thing about that, and they really didn't get into it too much, was the fact that these two brothers, the brother who did not get that footage and was not inside the tower was the older brother who was running the show. And I had read an article about them some time ago, like maybe 2-3 months ago, when they were putting the special together. And apparently he was the older brother who was always busting his younger brother's balls, got him into the business and stuff. And it was that younger brother who got all the really phenomenal footage. And wasn't all that good of a filmmaker himself until this thing happened.
Yeah, he said himself last night he was just going out to practice that morning.
Right.
Just to try to get shot. It was weird, some of the things that came together in that thing, where it's like the rookie went out with the retired chief.
Uh-huh.
You know, and it ended up those two going out together, the retired and the new guy. And then how the rookie that they had been following with footage even before 9/11 was the last guy back to the company. A lot of odd things how it all tied up there.
Hey, John, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, John.
Ron and Fez.
Yeah.
How's it going, buddy?
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
The show last night. It was good. It was kind of odd. You know, I didn't want to watch, but then I felt like I should.
Yeah.
It was tasteful, but it felt weird. It felt odd.
In what way?
Watching, just looking at the people and seeing how crazy everything was. And they personalized it with the one guy, the new fireman.
Right.
It just felt strange.
All right, now, John, do you realize that it's normal to feel strange in that situation?
Oh, no doubt.
When people are going, maybe we should get back to normal. I think only an idiot would want to get back to normal after a situation like this happened to their city or their country. I don't know why in the hell we'd ever want to go back to feeling and thinking like we did before 9/11. You'd have to be an idiot.
Agreed.
It's like if you're sitting there watching your favorite TV show and someone breaks into your house, you get up. You do something about it. That's where I feel like the country is right now. It's a matter of what the hell we're going to do about it. But you're insane if you think, I just want to get back to the way we were before this happened.
877-692-1027.
Now, some of the Gallup polls that have been taken, Fezzi, are out. Now, just throw something else on there, Roy. You know how to do it. 9 out of 10 Americans still supportive on the war on terrorism. But a majority are less likely to think that another attack on the United States is imminent. How can you not think that they're not planning another one?
They got away with this one. They tried it in 93. They came back and did it again last year. We're constantly a target.
All right, the public support slipping from on a long-term war situation went from 62% to 52%. Now, I think a lot of reasons, because a lot of people don't exactly understand what that means or why. I think that Bush really hasn't even laid out his plans yet of what he's really doing.
Yeah, that's kind of vague, and we heard the president again today saying long-term war.
Right. But what he means by that, no one really knows. No one really knows what he's planning. The country pretty much splits on 47 to 48% whether the success of the war hinges on capturing or whacking bin Laden. My personal thing is you got to get that guy. And anybody else who acts like it was a good thing. Any of these other things, I saw this in the New York Times, this guy saying we didn't have anything to do with it, and we do applaud it. He's another, whack sheikh over there in Pakistan in one of those places. I go, okay, put a target on his forehead. Because anybody who says this is a good thing, they're not your friend.
That's the whole you're either with us or against us deal.
And people go, well, maybe we shouldn't do so much. You know what I think about with this situation? And I mean, let's suppose we're using the breaking in your house analogy. Somebody breaks in your house, hurts your kids. How long before you stop going after them? The rest of your life. The rest of your life, those guys would have to be looking over their shoulder. That's the way I feel about this situation. And if somebody ever said, hey, I was glad that those people hurt your kids, you whack them too. Remember at the end of that Clint Eastwood movie, the last one that he won the Unforgiven, where he comes walking out there and says, he's walking out through the streets, he says, anybody takes a shot at me, I'll kill you. I'll kill your wife, I'll burn your house down, I'll kill your neighbors. What other way is there to be? You've got to put so much fear into these people. And I also laugh at the fact when people go, well, some liberals think, hey, FDR was a liberal, and he was a crazy son of a bitch. Truman was a liberal and dropped the bomb. What does being a liberal have to do with getting even with your enemies? Lincoln wasn't a liberal, and he brought the whole damn house down. He didn't care. Who could be more liberal than Lincoln? He's freeing slaves, and he still says, you F
change your policies,
and we'll drop it at Gettysburg on your ass. So I don't know where we get into this whole situation of, well, the liberals think, or, people focusing on whatever Alec Baldwin says. Who gives an F? I'm sure he feels the same way. Whack anybody who F's with us. Whatever problems we have are to the side of, I don't know one person who doesn't agree with. Let's stomp the hell out of not only whoever did this, but whoever has it in the back of their mind that this is a good idea.
And keep stomping. And just walk through everyone.
877-692-1027 is the Ron and Fez Show.
Ron and Fez.
You're scaring me. Stop it.
102.7 WNEW.
People all over the tri-state area seeing the towers alight tonight. The memorial. 6 months after 9/11. We're Ron and Fez.
We'll take some calls from some of the folks that can see the lights from all over the place tonight, Fezzy. A lot of people writing in asking me what's wrong with me. Just a little sick tonight. I thought maybe it was from the chemicals that we're cleaning up the other day, but it's feeling more like a cold. Although those chemicals can't be good for you.
No, it's just chemical on top of chemical.
Right. The pig intestines I don't think could get you sick, but whatever we were laying down. But I think I got a cold. Hey, Franny, you're on Ron and Fez. How you doing?
Hey, Franny.
Yeah.
Hey, guys. Tonight's my last night in the city. I'm moving out of Manhattan tomorrow.
Where are you going?
I'm going up to White Plains. I'm becoming a suburbanite.
Uh-huh.
I'm a little melancholy about it. I love New York City. I've lived here for, I guess, about 10 years. And I'd be lying if I didn't say that 9/11 had nothing to do with it. It has something to do with it. This really, really affected me. It really hit me hard. I didn't lose anybody close to me, thank God. But
what part of the city you live in?
I live uptown. Actually, I called once before and told you guys about my great deal. I had this huge one-bedroom apartment on Central Park for $500.
I remember that call.
So that's available now.
I was pissed.
So you gotta know somebody, Fezzy. But that's not the only reason. I mean, my job has changed, and I'm working a lot more up in, Westchester, Rockland area. But, so tonight I got in the car, and I was headed home for the last time, and I heard you guys talking about the lights, and I didn't have a route that was going to take me by them, but I went out of my way. First I went over the Whitestone, and it was very faint, and I was a little disappointed. Then I crossed over the Tri-Borough to come back into the city, and there they were, and it was really, really beautiful. But for me, I guess it was just some kind of closure, too,
Yeah.
It really made me happy, because I used to work down there on Fulton and Broadway, just one block away from Ground Zero, for 7 years, and World Trade Center was my subway stop, And it was freaky, because last night when I saw that, the 9/11 show on TV, and they showed the part where the guys were standing in the lobby.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like I never thought I was going to see the inside of that building again.
Yeah, it was very strange.
It was very weird. It was almost like seeing someone that you lost, that had passed away, and then there they were. It was really, I don't know, this has really hit me hard, and so I'm really glad that on my last night in the city,
I'm right across Jamaica Bay, about a block from where Flight 587 hit. And it's just, and I work down there. I work at Church and Barclay Street. So I was down there that morning and everything. I was a quarter mile away from both disasters, basically. And, lost a lot of people that I knew. No one in my family, thank God, but, a couple of friends, a couple of good friends. And, I'm crying here, I'm just sitting by the bay, just watching it, and it's just, it's such a symbol of hope,
You like the lights, I'm hoping maybe they'll come up with something after the 32 days.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a good idea to have something that reaches into the sky, whether it's a building or lights themselves.
Yeah, but it's such a symbol of hope, and after everything this community's been through, we could use it here,
Thank you very much, Matt.
Thanks, guys.
Say, pal.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, everyone we've talked to tonight just really impressed with the display.
Hey, Justin, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, Justin.
How you doing?
Yeah.
I was actually on the 40th floor of One World Trade, and it was I thought the show last night was kind of surreal, because just seeing the areas that I walk through every day for about a year, and thinking back on getting out of that building that day. And actually I'm working now on the other side of the river, and just watched the whole thing light up. I thought it was really great.
You walked down all 40 floors?
All 40 floors. Took me about 45 minutes to get down. And then I headed down to Battery Park City when the first building fell. And then actually headed back towards the ferry slip up near World Financial Center. And that's when the second building fell, and I actually contemplated jumping into the water.
I heard that from a lot of people, thinking they had to go into the water to be safe.
Yeah, but actually a police officer commandeered a boat, the Chelsea Screamer, and me and my buddy jumped on the boat and took us over to Liberty State Park.
Nice.
So, all right, guys.
See you, John. Justin. Billy is down at Battery Park right now at the Sphere. Billy, you're on the air. How you doing, buddy?
Billy Staples?
Get in trouble with this. Hey, Billy.
Hey, Billy Staples.
Yeah, hi, fellas. I'm down here right at the Sphere, which was located between the two towers. It was a design, ironically, meant for world peace. And now, just looking at it, sitting here in Battery Park, it's damaged, it's broken, but what are the best way to symbolize the New York spirit? It's, it's bent but not broken, man. It's just like us. It's sitting here, it's preserved. It's this whole area.
Billy, you're the poet. All of a sudden, you turned into a poet on me.
You're the poet laureate of the Ron and Fez show.
Ronnie, you can't help it. This whole area is alive with memories and feelings again. It's, I haven't been down here for 6 months, but the whole area has changed, but the feelings down here have not. Being down here again, this has turned into a makeshift memorial again. I'm right by the base of the Sphere with the pictures of people who were lost, flowers, flags, firemen, and it's all very real. It's all, it's 6 months ago. The feelings, even though it's not, but it's just the feelings.
You're right back in that state of mind of 6 months ago?
Fezzy, it's impossible not to be. Because if everyone recalls, it's like these are all fresh pictures again, and the flowers and the letters of the people that were lost. And for the week or two after that, they were everywhere in the city. And then that kind of ended, and now it's starting up again. The feelings of that day are very alive down here.
All right, Billy. Thanks.
All right, fellas, I'm heading back up.
Right.
Thanks, Billy Staples.
Here's another Billy. Billy, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Billy.
What's up, fellas?
Hey.
How's it going?
What can we do for you?
I watched my buddy for the last time last night on that tape. Watched his face for the last time. It was, now I'm sitting at the Warrenton Parkway in Long Island here, and I can see the lights from the Jones Beach bridges.
Was your friend one of the firefighters they showed at the end, or Danny Boy?
Yes, he was. And now I'm looking at the lights, and I can't even explain it right now. But I saw his face on the tape, and I immediately went to his parents' house. I sat with his mom and dad, and it's pretty nasty.
All right, Billy, I'm sorry for you, my friend.
Thanks, buddy.
See ya.
Take it easy.
Take good care, Billy.
Hey, Greg. Greg, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, how you guys doing?
What can we do for you tonight?
Thanks for talking about this tonight. I think it's very helpful. You guys are continuing this, but
well, obviously, we were going to talk about where you can see the lights from, and what is kind of surprising. Well, I guess not so surprising, but those lights tonight bring up a lot of feelings for people. And some people write in, "Why don't you guys do comedy?" Blah blah blah. What are you going to do? You can't do a comedy show every night.
I think you're right. And one of the things, I hate to be critical because I thought the show was so smartly done and so magnificent and so powerful, but the only thing I thought that it may have been almost a little too clean and neat because it took out, anything that was horrific that happened was not seen. And, they would have been criticized if they put too much in or not enough in, but it certainly made it feel like by not including a little bit more of that it makes it easier to say, maybe a little easier to forget or to move on, and I don't think we should.
Here's the thing, Greg. I think that show was just about that one fire department. And, they did show Father Judge, who's basically, he wasn't officially a fireman, but he was right there with them.
Right.
When they showed the things, he was just praying to himself, Fezzy. It goes to show you on what a whole different line some people are than us. You know what I mean? A whole different stage in life.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, the footage I saw in the lobby where they set up the command center and were working there, to me, it didn't seem like you could imagine that building coming down. You knew it was going to happen because we all lived through it, obviously. But when they were there working and they were bringing hoses in the lobby and stuff, it didn't seem like it was possible for that building to come down.
It didn't seem like they got a real lot of warning either.
No,
It wasn't like, it's pieces are falling.
Right,
you better get out. Just boom. It came down.
I know. Well, guys, thank you very much, and thanks for not doing comedy tonight. This was smart.
Thanks, Greg. And then they got out of the building and they thought that the other tower was still there through the smoke, and it had already collapsed.
Here's John. John, you're on Ron and Fez. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, John.
Hey, guys, how are you?
Good.
Number one, I want to thank you, Opie, Nancy, and the rest of you guys over there, because without you guys, with what happened on September 11th, we'd be thinking about it. For the 6 or 8 hours that you guys are on the radio, you make us forget a little while. But I just wanted to say those times, because I'm up in Westchester, and I could see it beautifully, and I lost a lot of friends over it that worked for Cantor and Fitzgerald, and it just brought back some memories, and I was just thinking of the good times that I had with them. And listening to you guys every day, it sort of lifts everybody's spirits up.
All right, man. I appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call, John.
Here's Lola. Lola, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, Lola.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah.
What can we do for you tonight, sweetheart?
I just wanted you to know that we can see the lights from Rowayton, Connecticut.
Wow.
We went down there the day that it happened, and we could see the smoke. So my kids and I and my husband went down there tonight hoping to see the lights. And you can see it very dimly, but more so in the clouds, but you could see it. And you're looking for callers that can see it from far away.
Right. So about how far away was that?
We're probably 50 miles.
Wow.
I mean, we're across the water.
Uh-huh.
So we just wanted you guys to know.
Thank you so much, Lola.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Appreciate it, sweetheart. 877-692-1027.
Hey, Tom. Tom, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Ronnie Fezzi, what's going on?
Yeah.
I was just, I thought the show was good and all.
The 9/11 documentary?
Right. I think people needed to see it, but it kind of bothered me that, it was sponsored by somebody and, somebody was making money off of it also.
Tom, before you even said, these things cost money in life, right?
No, I understand that.
And you realize how few commercials were in that thing? And that it was only one commercial sponsorship, and then they did not even talk about their product. It was more like a PBS thing.
They talked about rescue workers across the country.
I'm amazed how some people don't get it at all, Fez.
All right, then throw that out. And also, like, when they talked about...
You just want to be pissed about something, right?
No, I'm really trying, this is something that bothered me. It's like, when they were announcing, when to watch and all that... Like, didn't you guys notice that the guy had sort of like a coming attraction announcer type of voice to him? Kind of like, live on CBS, it was kind of...
What would you rather me and Fez did it? I mean, that was basically...
Just a regular voice. Don't try to over-dramatize
That's
it or
the
anything.
concerned announcer voice. But, I mean, if that's what you got to be pissed about, it's not very much.
The guy who was saying this is CBS.
And I don't
be furious with him. Lord.
So stupid. When people, they just bitch and bite constantly.
Try to focus that anger towards terrorism. 877-692-1027.
All right, and Aquarius Rev, you don't have to listen tonight. Turn us off tonight. Tonight can be a night that you just relax.
Someone want an Oscar blurbs?
Yeah, Fear Factor is on. Go watch Fear Factor. We weren't going to do this show tonight, but people are calling us. I don't feel so wacky tonight. Also, I'm in here, my throat is just raw. Someone's saying I should be gargling salt water. Is that helpful?
I've heard that, yeah. Warm salt water.
That's seawater.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to do that.
It breaks up the phlegm in your throat.
Is that what it's for?
Yeah.
I've always heard it, but I never knew what I was supposed to do for you, actually.
All right, now, you know how I'm always thinking Joe Pooh steps on everything, right?
Uh-huh.
On all time. Tonight I say to him, Joe, I'm really sick. Why don't you pick up the show and run with it a couple times? This mother effer hasn't said a word all night. Not a word.
I'm in a solemn mood about this whole thing.
What do you think? I'm giddy?
No, I know.
I asked you to pick me up.
You're a little more emotional than I am.
He's Joe Polarity response.
All right, what are you saying?
Tonight you should have told him to keep his big mouth shut.
What do you mean solemn mood, Joe? What are you feeling?
Like, just a little down. It feels like watching all this all day, and watching that show last night just kind of brought me back to that shock mode again.
So you're feeling it all over again?
Yeah, kind of like that.
And you watched it last night?
Right.
So by in shock, you're just going to sit and watch me and Fezzi tonight?
No.
Like you're in shock.
Not all night.
Seeing us.
Crazy bastards. All right. Hey, Kate, you're on Fez.
Hello, Kate.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that the rookie that you guys are talking about, the fireman, that's my cousin, and I am so proud of him. He's just so strong, and I just look up to him so much. And, yeah, it was just a great show, and I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm related to him, and I'm happy to be.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Kate.
That poor guy, he didn't know where he was during that show.
No, one of the weird things in his situation was being the only guy at the firehouse.
I would have hated that.
And they showed he's watching it on the cable TV, and then would go and put, like, his uniform, pants, and boots on and head towards the door and then stop himself and go back into that dispatch area where the TV was, not knowing what to do with himself.
Right. Here's Joyce. Joyce, you're on Fez.
Hi, Joyce.
Hi, guys.
What can we do?
Hi, Fezzy.
Hey.
Hi, what can we do for you?
I just wanted to say thanks, and that you're talking about this. I think it's wonderful. Very healing for everybody to keep talking. I know that's what we say. But one of the things that made me a little bit angry was I was staring at the TV watching as they were being sent up, all these firemen, to these high floors with 60 pounds of equipment, running up there with a minute a floor. You know, like, I know their job is to save people. I know their job is to get in there in the fray. But how could they have sent these guys up there 70 stories? You know, it just boggles my mind.
No one, Joyce, anywhere believed that those towers were going to come down. Nobody thought that was a possibility.
No, there was an absolute calm in all those lobby scenes, you know, under fire,
right,
where they were setting up the command centers.
Those crashes with the bodies being blown out of the windows.
You know, the other thing, Joyce, is these firemen, they know what they sign up for. It's like saying, why would you send Marines up that hill when you know the enemy's up there? This is what these guys have dedicated their whole life to.
We don't know how lucky we are to have them for us. I'll tell you that. Great, great thing they did.
All right, honey.
Take care, guys.
That's it.
Thank you, Joyce. But even, you know, if you're just looking at that situation as a fire, man, that looked impossible.
Yeah,
an impossible situation.
Yeah.
How were they possibly, even if the buildings weren't going to come down, how were they going to reach anyone that high with dragging their hoses up the stairs?
Yeah, these Zephyrs know exactly what they're doing. I mean, that's why they picked planes that were leaving from the East Coast, not coming in from the West Coast, so they would be filled with jet fuel, just to kill as many people as they possibly can. Now you're going to hear people worrying about how these guys are treated in Cuba? You're going to be kidding me. Here's Gus. Gus, you're on Fez. How you doing, my man?
Hi, Gus.
How you doing, Ronnie Fez?
Hey, buddy.
Listen, I work for a company in New Jersey. I'm a security guard. And there were about 7 or 8 guards in the tower at the time, and they all lost their lives. What was eerie was I was watching the show last night on TV, the 9/11 show.
Uh-huh.
And I saw one of the guards walk past the camera. You know, they actually showed him walk past the camera.
That had to be rough on you.
So, yeah, I mean, all of the firefighters and police officers, all of them are heroes. But there were also guards in that tower that lost their lives trying to help people, and I just wanted to comment on that.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Gus.
Bye-bye.
877-692-1027.
Hey, Jeff. Jeff, you're on Fez.
Hey, Jeff, what you got, buddy?
All right, man. Hey, kudos on your program. I've been a long time listener to 1027 from the mid-'60s. Had them on, turned them off. They're back on again at this time of night with you guys on the air. You're doing a good job for information and for entertainment. Enjoy your program. About the show tonight. I was in Colts Neck when you guys were broadcasting. Could see the light from Colts Neck. I'm home in Oceanport. Even through the lights of Fort Monmouth, I can still see a beacon in the sky. It's not a tower from here, but it's a beacon. Nonetheless, good to see, and good to hear you guys talking about it tonight.
Thanks a lot, my man.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff. Great reviews coming in on the Towers of Light.
Fez, it's killing me. Hey, Jessalyn, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Jessalyn.
Hi, guys. I just wanted to comment on the show last night. I think overall they did an amazing job. Absolutely no complaints at all. And I think what was most amazing was that there was a lot of criticism in the beginning about it being some sort of commercialized, it's too early, whatever. And I know I certainly didn't want to see anything like that. But the most amazing thing about it was that it wasn't meant to be about September 11th.
No, it was about that firehouse. And then it actually kind of became about the two French brothers, which I thought was interesting. And a lot of people had brought up before, hey, they're not even American. But a lot of the people that died there, that they weren't American either. I think it was pretty cool from that point of view.
It was served to be such a tribute, because I know myself, I did not personally lose anybody, thank God. And you hear about the firemen and the policemen, and you think, absolutely, heroes, I can't believe it. But just their blind need and duty in there just to save people. It was astounding. And I know that's what they sign up for, but it takes a really special person to be able to do that. And I thought they succeeded in tributing the firemen and policemen.
All right, we got to take a break here. We'll be back with your calls. It's the Night of Lights, Fezzy. The lights are up tonight.
The Towers of Light, 6 months after 9/11.
You're listening to Ron and Fez.
Ron and Fez. 1027 WNEW. And EW.
We're Ron and Fez.
We're Harbor.
Sure. Talking about the Towers of Light, illuminated tonight at 6:55 down by Ground Zero, and of course the CBS special last night, 9/11. Get your thoughts on that. 6 months after September 11th.
We are getting calls from all over from people that can see the same. Mike, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hello, Mike.
Hey, Ron and Fez. How you doing, buddy?
Where you at, Mike?
Yeah, I'm in Staten Island, right at the foot of the outer bridge.
Uh-huh.
And I can see these lights perfectly. Clear view, clear as anything. And I had a friend that was trapped in there for about 12 hours. Thank God he made it out. And it's just, great to see these lights there.
All right, thank you very much, my friend.
All right, thank you.
So far, about 100%, Fezzy, on the lights.
Right, getting a lot of comfort out of seeing something there downtown.
Hey, Artie, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Artie.
How you doing?
Good, buddy.
Good. You know, I have a complaint about the people that are making complaints about the show last night, and yet they don't complain about the Pearl Harbor attack shows they have on TV all the time, the Vietnam shows they have. And, I lost a friend down there, and I'm a retired cop from Peekskill, and the friend I lost was also a police officer from Peekskill, and he went to be a fireman. That was his life's dream, to be a fireman. And I think these people that are complaining are way off base to be complaining.
Well, one thing I figured out from being in this business is some people will always complain.
No, this is true, but they have to realize this is an attack on the country. They attacked innocent people here. You attack a military target, that's one thing. You're attacking innocent people, totally innocent people here.
Yeah.
And apparently they don't realize that is what happened. But if their house was burglarized or they were robbed, they'd be the first ones probably to complain.
Sure.
And they want blood.
And it's always amazing what they pick to complain about out of something like last night's show. That it was sponsored.
Or they didn't like
the announcer's voice.
The announcer whose voice you heard maybe 6 times the whole night.
Oh, yeah, and say somebody has to get, a sponsorship in. True, they didn't talk about it too much, Nextel, if they did at all. I watched the show.
I thought they did a very classy job of it.
It was a very good job. Like you said, it was done tastefully. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
And
CBS let a lot of the F and S words and stuff like that go across, which meant that the FCC had to give a little leeway there. So it was very, very tasteful. It was very, it was kind of inspiring through most of the thing.
Everybody loves their freedom when they have it. As soon as they start to lose it, then they start to complain.
All right, thanks a lot, my friend.
And I appreciate your time.
Take care, Artie. Thanks for the call. 877-692-1027.
Hey, Steve. Steve, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, guys.
What can we do for you, Steve?
Hi, guys. Thanks. You guys do a good job. Yeah, I'm a New York City firefighter, and
I think the show was well done last night from a TV standpoint, I guess, if you will. I'd like to make a brief comment and just say that, I lost a lot of friends there. I mean, a lot of people. There's so many people affected in so many ways about what happened on September 11th. But I think, I've been doing a lot of thinking as to how I can kind of come to terms with this. And I think that if everyone, all your listeners, maybe somehow just change little things in their lives, maybe like something as simple as holding a door for somebody or smiling at somebody and making it, just doing a good thing, on a day-to-day basis, then all the guys who died there and all the people who died there won't have died in vain. I just think a lot more positive could come out of what was just a terrible situation, a tragic situation.
All right, thank you very much, Steve.
All right, guys.
All right,
Take care, Steve.
God bless you guys. Here is Hank. Hank, you're on Run of Fez.
Hi, Hank. You're on the air, buddy.
Hey, Ron Fez. How's it going, guys?
All right.
9/11, 6 months ago, I managed a building on the corner of Park Place and Broadway, and I was up on the 32nd floor in a setback when the first tower came down. It brought a lot back. It was one of the most horrifying scenes I've ever seen in my life. I've been in buildings for the last 25 years. I started as a helper in the engine room. So all these buildings are like in my blood, so to speak. But the show last night was, I thought, very well done, very tasteful. And it brought back some bad memories. I lost a buddy over there, and some other people that I knew peripherally. But the thing that horrified me was when that kid opened his check and he made $632 for 2 weeks' work.
Yeah. Wow.
They can't pay these men enough, in my book, to do what they do day in and day out with no regard for themselves. All they're looking to do is to help other people. And people don't realize you call these people for everything. If there's a cat in a tree, if your grandfather has a heart attack, if you have a gas leak, I mean, if a kid has his head stuck in the rungs of a gate in front of the house. That happened in Brooklyn when I was growing up. You call the fireman. Who's going to help you? Call the fireman.
Right.
They'll come.
Very true, my friend.
It's who they are. It's what they do. And in my book, they deserve whatever they can get because like I seen a bumper sticker and it sticks with me. It says, "All gave some gave all."
Thank you very much. Here's Keith. Keith, you're on Run of Fez.
Hello, Keith.
Hey, buddies.
What can we do for you tonight, Keith?
First of all, amen to the previous caller. Bravo, well said. I just kind of wanted to respectfully disagree about the whole Nextel thing. You equated it to PBS, where PBS, they put the...
Well, first of all, this wasn't PBS. This was CBS. This thing cost big money. If you ran this on CBS or PBS or HBO, you'd get a fraction of the viewers that they got last night.
I understand.
These people went out and bought network time. They took a couple breaks, and in the meantime, we're using that. They have Buscemi in there. Steve Buscemi does not pronounce his name Steve Buscemi.
I know now it's Buscemi.
Buscemi. Where did that come from?
When did Steve Buscemi change his name? And I'm sorry, Steve, I'm not going to go along with it.
I don't know. I did it for Demi Moore.
I hear you.
I'm always ready to make a change. But, Keith, you're wrong. There was nothing that company did that wasn't classic.
But this is the way I see it, though. That show last night was a public service. It did the public a lot of good.
It was not on a public service network.
It doesn't matter.
Here you go. You're bitching about Nextel. Why don't you bitch about Goodyear or any other company that did not sponsor this thing? You're being an A-wipe.
Absolutely amazing.
I don't know
what people find to bitch about.
I don't know what the hell is wrong with people. If all you could do is watch that show last night and come out and go, "Oh, I didn't like them because they put their name up," and I don't know how many millions of dollars these people spent to do that. But that's all you had to bitch about. How many breaks were there in that show? Maybe 4 in 2 hours.
Right? Yeah. I think they went once every half hour.
Some little kid's going to sit there like a scumbag. Their profit. Shut up.
2 hours of that footage, you see people risking their lives. You hear about victims being trapped. You see two brothers that can't find each other in the middle of a gigantic attack and tragedy, and that's what you pull away from it.
Yeah. That's all you get.
You see a kid who's sitting there. They called him the White Cloud because there wasn't a fire while he was on duty. His first fire that he gets to go to looked like a sack on the sidewalk someone lit on fire.
Yeah.
And then his first real fire is 9/11. That's what he's thrown into. And all you walk away is the word Nextel.
Hey, Jesse, you're on Manifest.
You're bizarre, people.
Yeah.
Hey, Jesse.
The reason that Nextel thing made me sick wasn't because of just their promoting themselves. That's fine. But they had the nerve to say they were so concerned and they cared so much. Come on,
Jesse, you know what
they're trying to sell a product.
They didn't promote themselves. They never mentioned their
It just
stuff.
says
they did too.
they never talked about their product. They used their name.
Though.
Why wouldn't they care? I care, and I am not putting on the show.
Okay, and I agree with that, but why can't
Jesus.
This is too weird. I think people maybe are a little bit more upset than they thought they would end up being on the 6-month anniversary, and you don't know how to channel it, maybe?
That might be true, too.
And you're just lashing out. You're so angry about the events that happened 6 months ago and trying to get back at somebody.
Now, by the way, if you haven't gone out and seen the lights tonight, 11 o'clock it shuts down every night, Fez?
11 o'clock, yeah.
And somebody told me that this thing's going to cost $500,000 to run.
Wow.
For the month, even with Con Ed dedicating the power.
Huh. All right.
Now, I'm sorry if I said the term Con Ed and somebody thinks,
those self-servers.
Just drives me nuts.
And Billy Staples, who was on the scene, says, just as magnificent a sight up close in downtown Manhattan as it is when you see it off in the distance just shooting off into the sky.
Billy acted like it was more incredible being there, so I might even go down one night, maybe over the weekend. Hey, here's Darian. Darian, you're on Manifest.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on?
Hey, Darian.
I just wanted to say I'm a really good friend of Tony Benetatos, and I just want to say I'm very proud of him.
Tony was the young man in the show last night, right?
He was the rookie, the probie.
Yeah, the rookie. Me and him both studied communications major. We're both communications majors at WCC, and just wanted to say we're going to go out buy a couple of Nextels.
I'm thinking of getting one. We talked about last night watching this. What does Nextel even do? You couldn't tell from the commercials.
Right. I just want to point this out to everybody who's also in some feedback. I know Stephen Baldwin's on Fear Factor. I get it. We're not going to do a big-ass simulcast and joke about Stephen Baldwin. I shouldn't even be here tonight. My throat's just raw. Now I'm starting to think of this whole saltwater thing. I might be going the saltwater direction.
Try the saltwater thing. And what's the spray? Cepacol? You want some spray?
I had some of that earlier. Plus, I got these secrets.
Oh, nice.
Let me tell you something, Fezzy.
Yeah?
You take everybody in the hospital, put them together, and not as sick as I am tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty damn sick.
That's what my doctor said.
Did you went to the doctor?
No.
Oh.
By doctor, I meant my dog.
Oh. He knows what he's doing.
He's smart. Hey, Carol, you're around.
He knows you're sick. Hi, Carol.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Okay.
Excellent show, as always.
That's us.
I just wanted to let you know I drive home on the Northern State, Sunnyside Boulevard in Plainview. I used to be able to see the Twin Towers from that exit, and I can't see the lights. I was a bit bummed out tonight. And with respect to these callers complaining about Nextel and all of this other nonsense with the sponsorship, and one of your callers had mentioned something about the show was too watered down last night, I just think people need to redirect their energy. They're focusing on the wrong thing.
I got it.
Thank you for the call.
Hey, Pete. Pete, you're on Fez.
Hello, Pete.
How you doing?
Good.
Listen, I just want to let you know, like we talked before, that I was disappointed in myself, that I thought I was going to be disappointed at that show last night, and I sat there and watched it with my girlfriend, and I got to let you know, and I'm sure everybody else that's listening, it was the most informative thing, and I was so glad that I got a chance to watch that. It gave you that look of what those men and women and everybody else faced that morning, and the looks on their faces says everything.
Yeah, it was
they
amazing.
had that look. What the hell is going on?
And you're talking like a lot of those guys in their 40s, 50 years old have trained their entire lives for this and had no idea how to handle something like this.
You know, without me going into a whole big thing and knocking anybody else, I will just speak about the firemen. These guys put their life on the line. They don't change your life and hurt your life. They save you. They try to save your family at the drop of a dime. These guys are unbelievable, the men and women and everybody that to do. And when I saw that last night, I watched that show, me and her, and we were like 3 and 4-year-old kids watching cartoons. Quiet, in amazement, and total awe. Unbelievable. Thank you, fellas.
Thanks, Pete. You know, the firemen, a unique breed. This is a documentary. If 9/11 hadn't happened, I still would have wanted to see. That thing started playing like Goodfellas.
Right.
In the beginning.
Now, where do you think this documentary would have been played, though, if it wasn't for 9/11?
I have no idea where you could have even seen something like that, except it probably, you know, if it was good, they would have been nominated for one of those Oscar shorts.
Well, no,
next year,
because that was on video, so it was never going to go to the theaters.
Oh, it was okay.
So at most, maybe they could have caught on with, like a Discovery Channel or something. And nobody, very few people see those. There's a lot of good programming on there, but very few people get to see it. And you're right. This was a hell of a show. Hey, Richie, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, Richie.
Hey, Fezzy, what's up, guys?
Hey.
I know I haven't been listening to the show all day, all night, but, I don't think anybody's mentioned the fact that the show is focused mainly on the firefighters and really didn't pay much attention to a couple thousand people who were just moms and dads that lost their lives.
Richie, I'm going to say this to you so you can understand it, okay? The reason why they showed that is it was a documentary about one firehouse.
I understand.
If you even remember, those, some people were going, well, if this would have happened at a different firehouse, you would have seen guys sitting there knowing that they lost half of their friends that day.
No,
it was only about one single firehouse. They did not attempt to be the be-all and do-all of 9/11. All that was about was one single firehouse, the Lucky 7. Okay?
Okay.
All right?
All right. I just figured that, if...
Richie, try to understand this. All right? They did not set out to make the show that's in your head. That show is shown on a screen against the back of your head because there's no brain there to stop it.
Is that a drive-in?
Yes. You can literally, and there's plenty of space. You can put a van in there.
Hook up a speaker from the ear and listen to the show in your head.
You're driving me nuts. Hey, Jim, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hello, Jim.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, buddy.
Good. I'm a New York City fireman. I just wanted to call and let you guys know I worked at 7N1, the house that was featured in the show last night.
Is that right?
Yeah, I know they wouldn't call because they don't have to, but I just want to say that they're the best bunch of guys you could find. And, like you said before, the show represents one house and one story, really. If it was filmed at a different house, you would see that half the company didn't come back.
Right.
Just wanted to let you know, great bunch of guys, and people that are calling up, saying, having complaints about the show, they really don't know. And
well, you don't have to tell me there's a great bunch of guys. I got that from that show last night.
What a bunch of ball busters. They are great.
Well, that's what makes it work,
Yeah. Thank you very much, my friend.
All right, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Jim. 877-692-1027.
All right, here someone writes on the instant feedback. Do you realize that if the one French brother would have been crushed by the building, there would have been no footage of the first plane ever hitting Tower 1? That is true.
That's a good point. It's amazing historic footage that guy got, that he brought back. Everything going on in that lobby.
Hey, are those guys getting me some salt water that I can gargle? Some hot salt water? What happens with Wonder Boy? When did he become mediocre, boy?
Wonder Boy deserted you. Wonder Boy was on your sleeve.
He's a probie.
The day he got here.
Yeah. He's a probie. At best now.
He's got a trip to spring break he's thinking about.
Hey, JD, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, JD.
Hey, guys, how are you?
Yeah, good.
Listen, a couple of people commented earlier about how they were holding back on the graphics during the show the other night. And if you think back, when they first entered the building, the French cameraman there said that there was a woman burning to her right. He says, I don't want to film something like that. And he wasn't about to do it. They didn't edit this thing at all.
Well, here's what you probably have got to remember here. These two French brothers, this wasn't Marty Scorsese on a shoot. These were a couple of guys who one of them had never even done this kind of work before.
He was practicing.
And they obviously had no idea what to do when something like this came down. So, at the very most, they just had a bunch of raw footage that they went back and tried to put together in a story. And I think they did tell the story of that one firehouse and of this young kid who went from, as what they wanted to tell, a boy becoming a man.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the disaster at all. They fell into it, basically, is what happened to it. Yeah, listen, last night I was sitting in front of Da Silvano last night. I'm a limousine driver.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for my clients, and I was watching a show from inside the car. I've got a TV in the car. And during those short breaks, I think there was only 2 of them that they had, I stepped out of the car to stretch my legs for a minute. And I turned around to the south and looked, and they were testing the lights. I can't tell you the flood of emotion that I was going through last night. Looking at the Tower of Lights and what was going on with the show, it brought me right back to September 11th.
Thank you very much, JD.
Thanks,
Amazing.
JD. Yeah, the Towers of Light, they went up just before 7 o'clock tonight. So, and everyone seems to be very grateful for them.
All right, Wonder Boy, what have you given me?
Joe Poo brought you in hot water to gargle with, and I brought you a cup to put the water in when you're done gargling.
Where's the salt?
It's in the air. He mixed it in. Joe
It's
Poo
already in the water?
Yeah, Joe Poo took good care of that for you. You need more?
Be careful. It might be hot.
It's too salty. All right, now Sheepy said, why don't you try salt water taffy? I don't know if that'll help, Sheepy, but thank you. You big
I'll
goof.
tell you what,
big goof, Sheepy. I'm hurting tonight. You should. Why not you be on my side?
Ball breaker.
I know.
Is.
He is. And everybody loves him for some reason. I don't get it. I think he's the most awful person ever. I'm dying. And yet I still come in here, Fez.
But if we do have some saltwater taffy, I'll take it as a preventative.
I'm going to take some for tomorrow when I wake up and then have breakfast in bed and then have that for dessert.
Nice, a little saltwater taffy on your pillow.
I just want you to know this, Fez. Do you remember me saying, Joe, would you carry me tonight?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah, I was sitting there for it.
Right. So I know you always...
You got it.
I know you always watch over him for whatever reason. Whether he knows something from your past or he saw you stealing money, something. But when I don't need him is when he's all over me. Then I'm wearing him like a hat.
Then I think what we've learned tonight is tell him opposite things.
Right.
So, Joe, would you please be quiet the rest of the night?
Okay.
And not help out Ronnie?
I brought him salt water. You have to gargle with it.
Yeah.
This is from out of the East River. No. That's not what I'm looking for. He dipped a bucket in the East River.
It's supposed to be murky.
I found it.
You found brackish water.
There's a shoe in there. That's not going to help me.
No wonder it took you so long to get it. They had to go down to the river with a bucket.
I feel like I got razor blades in my throat.
You want less salt in it?
Why not just, cover me for a while? Tell me a funny story about yourself.
Yeah, what's going on with you?
Yeah, so I was getting salt water for Ron.
Keep going.
That hurts so bad. It's like acid in my throat.
Is it too hot?
It's too, no, my throat's just so raw.
And you're pouring salt into an open wound. We've always heard that's bad. Why would it be good this time?
It gets rid of the phlegm, which is infectious.
I don't have any phlegm. I'm dying.
As simple as that.
My doctor said that this was worse than JFK's wound.
Really?
Yeah. He said that right to my face. He said, and JFK apparently died from his thing?
Oh, yeah.
In Dallas?
Yeah. Didn't make it.
What was he doing in Dallas? Was he playing against the Cowboys?
No, I think he was just stumping. Just politically stumping.
I'm going to try the salt water taffy. Maybe Sheepy was right.
But that should probably be heated, too.
All right, cover me, Joe. Say something.
All right, go ahead, Joe.
Okay, Ron's taking a drink of his salt water in a cup. And he's gargling.
It's too much.
You missed the cup.
It's too much pain to gargle. I got to take a break here.
Then just spit it in Wonder Boy's face, and that'll make you feel at least better mentally.
Oh, good news, Wonder Boy. You're not going to Florida. I'm sending Mikey D instead. We'll take a break. It's the Ron and Fez Show.
Ron and Fez. 1027 WNEW.
It's the grand opening of New York Health and Racquet Club's 8th and largest location. That's at 23rd Street and 6th in Chelsea. Joe Poo, tell us about it.
Celebrate this month's grand opening of the New York Health and Racket Club. Join at any HRC location during March at a very special grand opening prices. Pay as you go. No long-term contract plans. At New York Health and Racket Club, enjoy impeccably maintained indoor pools, steam rooms, oversized Turkish rock saunas, and soothing mineral whirlpool baths. Enjoy the most innovative exercise classes in the industry, including fencing, ballet, and even ballroom dancing, where you'll master the foxtrot, waltz, rumba, cha-cha, and swing.
Rumba.
Don't wait. Go to any of HRC's 8 conveniently located full-service facilities. Uptown, downtown, East Side, Village, and visit HRC's brand new 40,000 square foot super club at 23rd and 6th in Chelsea. Get to New York...
What?
Sorry. Get to New York Health and Racket Club today and experience why HRC is consistently voted Manhattan's best health club.
Where?
Manhattan's best health club. Call 1-800-HRC-BEST. That's 1-800-HRC-BEST. Or log on to hrcbest.com today.
New York Health and Racket Club. Learn to build fences.
Ron and Fez, 102.7 WNEW.
The Twin Towers of Light went up tonight, right before 7 o'clock. We're Ron and Fez.
We're only going to have them for the next 32 days, Fezzy, but maybe it shows you the type of memorial that we're going to need in the city of New York.
6 months after 9/11, it seems like people really did want to have something to look at and to just reach out to.
Here is Matt. Matt, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hello, Matt.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Matt. You're on the air.
Yeah, how you doing? I'm a police officer up in northern Westchester. I'm about 50 miles from the city. And I can see the lights real nice from here. I'm in a park where we had overflow parking from services that were done for victims. And it's just nice to be able to look at it from where I am.
Matt, how far do you think you're away there in Westchester?
We're about 50 miles up here where I am.
Wow.
And I like this memorial because I don't have to be down in the city to appreciate it. It affected everybody up here, too.
Yeah,
and,
yes,
nice
it did.
To be able to see it.
You know, people were always saying New York City, but so many of those people that lost their lives lived in Connecticut, they lived in Jersey, they lived in Long Island, and that's also the people that would see the skyline.
Yeah, just in the town where I am, we lost several people, and they have families who live here and lots of kids, and it's good that they're able to see it from here, and, you know, it brings it back for all of us.
Thanks a lot, my friend.
Take care.
Take care, Matt. Thanks for the call.
Hey, Lee, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, Lee.
Yeah, I got to agree with you guys. I think that the people that are bitching about the way Nextel handled everything, I think what they did was fantastic. I mean, I have an ad agency, and if one of my clients came to me and said they wanted to do something like that, and they were going to buy CBS national airtime for something like that, I think the commercial breaks, the way they spotlighted all the service personnel, it was fantastic.
No, this is the other thing they don't understand. What that kind of show costs to put on CBS nationally, and how many spots are normally in a 2-hour, let's say, movie?
It's amazing. I mean, it just amazes me that people are complaining about it. They didn't even show people so much as, like, using a single Nextel the entire show. I mean, there was nothing. I thought it was so tastefully done. And, I mean, the other thing that amazes me is people complaining that, like, the guy who called in, that they only spotlighted these firefighters. The whole documentary to me was such a sad commentary on what happened that day.
Right.
There was people who were doing their job who got caught in a catastrophe. These two brothers who, like you said, the one guy was just learning how to video. They're just hooked up with this fire company, and, you know, they were like the butt of jokes as much as anybody else all summer long with this fire company, it looked like. They're making a connection. They were just doing their job, and they almost lost their lives. And how many people, whether they were a hot dog vendor, a FedEx guy, or a bond trader, were just doing their jobs that day and lost their lives? Like, people don't get, like, there was 3,000 people that lost their lives. You can't cover each person's personal story in that time. Like, the amount of specials that you could have if you profiled each victim, that's just amazingly sad. And that people call and complain about things like this, it's like, I don't know. I don't know how you guys don't lose it half the time.
Half the time I wonder the same thing. All right, thanks a lot, Lee.
Thanks.
Out of all the things to be angry about from the events of 9/11,
Yeah, the fact that you didn't see Giuliani in it once goes to show you it wasn't about everybody. It was about the Lucky 7 Firehouse. That's all. They were very, very lucky that day, and also very skilled, Fezzy. They kept an eye out for each other. Here is Junior. Junior, you're on Run of Fez.
Hello, Junior.
Hey, guys. Listen, a lot of the callers don't realize, I was just watching Charlie Rose. They had the replay of the interview with these guys and the firefighter. They mentioned that Nextel bought sponsorship. They mentioned that CBS put them on the air. They agreed only to put this on the air if all of the money that was put out for this show to be donated to the Firefighters Children's Fund. So all the money that everybody's complaining about, that people are making money off of this, is that it's all going to a Firefighters Children's Fund. And that none of the money is going to anybody's pocket. And they also said that no matter what, if they did collect any money on it, then a lot of retribution would have been taken action, because they did not want anybody to make any money off of this. They wanted to make sure that CBS played it straight and narrow, and CBS said you got whatever you want in order for it to be on the air.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
No problem.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the very few commercial spots that they had, a lot of them were for that scholarship fund. And call this number.
Mr. Steve Buscemi.
Buscemi, who felt the need to change his name after 9/11.
Now, who else has done that? Marty Scorsese. Sometimes he's Scorsese.
Oh, right, okay.
And then it's like Giro and Gyro. Whenever you call one name, somebody corrects you and says it's the other.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the great Demi Moore used to be Demi Moore, but then she changed it to Demi Moore.
Demi.
And then I'm like, what's next? Denti Moore? Is that where we're going with this, honey?
Only when she's stewing.
Joe, please. I'm telling you, my throat is raw. If you don't think I'll throw you out of the studio for doing nothing tonight, I will. I don't understand what you want to do in this business. I begged you to jump in.
You guys were talking the serious business, and...
All right, then we'll see you later. We'll call you back in later, okay? So go sit outside.
All right.
877-692-1027.
I asked him to help out tonight. He won't. Have you seen how many times I've looked up at him?
Yes. And he looks back and basically waves.
Right. Now, I don't know what he wants to do here, Fez. I don't get it. Here's Rob. Rob, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What can we do for you tonight?
I liked the whole show last night. I thought it was very tastefully done. The only complaint I have about it was that for most of the beginning of the show, they led you to believe that probationary fireman was dead.
For during the beginning of the show? I thought at one point of the show they kind of said that he was missing, and, as far as everybody knew,
But
he was
if you
gone.
realize in the beginning of the show when they were leading up to it, he was the only person they didn't interview. And they were making it how he was all unprepared and everything like that. And they didn't interview him until after you saw him come back.
I was nervous when they did go to that one break and said, but what about Tony?
Same with me.
I got very nervous.
All right, I'll see you later, guys. Thanks for doing this tonight.
That's it.
Because I didn't know the background story behind it.
But, why you're saying, we shouldn't do that. A lot of those guys did lose their lives. Maybe that's why they put the dramatic arc on the story on that.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, we did see Father Judge, too.
Yeah, who lost his life.
Before he was killed.
Hey, Tim, you're on Run of Fez.
Hi, Tim.
Hey, how you doing, Ronnie, Fez?
Hey.
Hey, man, I totally agree with that show last night. I'm glad they played it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the military. I'm out here in Long Island. I do recruiting. And I just think a lot of these people forget real quick, why everything's going on that is,
All right, and since you're in the military, what do you think Bush's long-term plans are? Does anybody got any ideas about that?
Well, I mean, I don't have that kind of information, but I would think
if you had to guess,
we're in for the long haul, I think.
But what does that mean, the long haul?
Until we complete all the objectives that we have.
What are the objectives?
As I said, I don't have all the information, but it is pretty much to rid the world of terrorism.
To every single one of them.
Well, I mean, does that mean we go into Northern Ireland? I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I just think especially out here, I see it a lot. We have to do cold calls a lot for our job, and just these parents, they're like talking down to you and being very rude, and I can understand parents being protective of their children or whatever, but we're the U.S. military. I mean, that's what we're here for, But I think it was a very good show. I'm glad they played it, and I hope they can play something, in the future more for that stuff, because I think people tend to forget real quick.
All right, thanks a lot, Tim. Here's Jay. Jay, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hello, Jay. You're on the air, buddy.
Hey, Ron and Fez, how are you?
Good.
Just driving, I live in New Jersey, driving up the turnpike from Middletown up north of New Jersey, and saw the lights and decided to go right through the tunnel, pull right onto Fulton Street, and walk right up to the lights, and it's pretty amazing. So I recommend it just to support everybody. It's not as crowded as I thought it would be, but it was incredible to see it.
Well, I think it wasn't really pushed as that, like, come into town and see this thing like it was a parade or a memorial service. It was supposed to be see it from wherever you happen to be. I think that we got Billy back here now. Is Billy here?
Yeah, Billy Staples is back. He was right down there.
And it's amazing up close, huh, Jay?
Yeah, it is. It really is. And like I said, if you can go down and check it out, I'm sure it was something else.
Yeah, I want to try to do that maybe this weekend, Fizz.
Yeah, I've definitely got to go see this thing. I want to run up to the roof now and see if we can see it from here.
Head up. You got an hour and a half.
Before they turn it off.
Before they turn it off. And then once it goes off, Fizz, that'll be it, 32 days.
Yeah. And then what? I guess every night at dusk it goes back on, or do they have a specific time?
I believe it's 7.
7 every night?
Well, tonight it was 6:55, I think.
Yeah.
Because it was right before we came on the show. Billy, tell us what it felt like down there.
It was to look up at these lights. Getting off the subway, I was walking toward them, and I could see them from a distance. And from a distance, they're brilliant to look at. It's one of the things, like you guys just said, you don't have to actually be there to appreciate it. But to be right next to it and to just sit back with your head tilted all the way back and just looking, these bright lights just shining all the way up and then disappearing into the clouds in the heaven. It's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable sight. It's truly a great idea, a great tribute.
It's an excellent idea, the fact that everyone can take part in this thing.
Yeah, and it's one of the things
you got a view, you can see it.
It's one of the things you don't have to come into Manhattan and fight the lower Manhattan traffic, because it's still a mess down there with the construction. And, all through this, the guys are still working down at Ground Zero. Because when I walk by, they're still down there plugging away.
24 hours a day.
Yep.
And the cool thing is, too, we've talked in the office about how when you come into the city now and you look at the skyline, and you still expect to see the towers from time to time, even though you know they're not there. And then I personally am like, well, where were they? It's hard to get your direction on exactly where the towers were. After all, now it's just boom, that's where they were, and it brings it back a lot.
All right, here's Bruce. Bruce, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hello, Bruce.
Hi, how you doing?
What can we do for you, Bruce?
Well, I'm an electrician down at Ground Zero, and actually my company lit these things up tonight, so I'm kind of proud about that. But about the show the other night, one of the things that stuck in my mind was the fact that these firemen walked into the building, and they knew it was bad, and they still just walked up them stairs.
Yeah, they did, and they all had a look of shock on their face.
It was just tremendous. They knew what they had to do, and they just did it. And to me, the point that they did the show and that these guys were there for them was great.
All right, thanks a lot.
The most amazing thing is this is the firehouse, too, that knew the World Trade Center inside and out, better than any other of those fire companies that showed up.
Oh, right. They talked about how many times they go there in a week anyway.
Yeah.
Just for, whatever.
And these guys knew these two towers inside and out, and they were like, what the hell do we do?
Right. It was a situation of fire that high up there, no elevators to get you there. You got to go 80 flights of stairs to start reaching it, dragging your hoses and everything behind you. My gosh, how do you handle that without them even coming down, without even putting that in the equation?
And they said each flight of stairs would take them 1 minute with the equipment, so you're talking almost an hour and a half just to reach the fire and the explosion and the victims.
Maybe we ought to try that one day. We're up, 10 floors?
Yeah.
We'll put some of that equipment on the guys and see how long it takes them to get up here. Our guys.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Compared to an in-shape fireman.
We'll put the weight on them.
Billy,
half of them will kill here.
I know Billy stops for a nap when he takes the elevator.
Right, yeah.
He says that's too long.
He has to get off on 5th.
It's 9 floors. You got to stop for a snack, too, once in a while.
Here's
I would love to send Billy out one night where he doesn't come home huffing and puffing and just dripping in his own juices.
I know, it's cold outside, too. You act like we sent you out to Tijuana.
Well, you know you didn't have to jog there, right? You could have taken the subway or a cab.
Oh, I had to take a subway and had to walk all the way up from Lexington. My God, that's a walk and a half. I'm exhausted.
You walked from Lexington?
Yeah, because from down by Battery Park, there's only the 4 or the 5 train, and so I took it right up to Lex and 59th.
Ah.
Here's a 13-year-old kid. It's Rob. How you doing, Rob?
Hey, Rob. What can we do for you, Rob?
Well,
Speak up, buddy, could you?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I was on the 4th floor of my school, and I saw it go down.
On the 11th?
Yeah. And I saw the special last night, and I started crying because I couldn't take it.
All right, buddy. We'll see you later, man.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for the call, Rob.
13 years old. That's going to be rough.
Got to be very rough. And to be that close to it still? And they're probably still going back to school there every day now, because I think all the kids are back down there now.
Yeah, they just reopened, I think, that elementary school. The parents didn't want it open, but I think they did.
The parents didn't want it open. Why? Because of the air quality?
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Here's Nicole. Nicole, you're on Run of Fez.
Hi, Nicole.
Hello.
What can we do for you, Nicole?
Hey, 2 things. First of all, I live in Boonton, New Jersey, which is about, I would say, like 37 miles away from the city. And I saw the lights. Like, I mean, they weren't really like...
Gee whiz.
An ass she lives with. Hey, Sam. Sam, you're on Run of Fez.
Hey, Sam, you're on the air, buddy.
Okay. I was just flying in on a flight. I'm a flight attendant, and when we were coming into the city, it was real impressive sight. It was kind of bittersweet to see the lights again, and especially after seeing the TV program last night.
Sam, where'd you fly in from today?
Phoenix.
And what airport?
Newark. We came into Newark. We were landing in the south, and a lot of the passengers on the plane were asking which side if we were going to see the towers. Everybody was very interested. There was a gentleman who was flying on the 11th who was at the window, and I could tell he's pretty shaken up.
I'm just curious, how far out could you start to see the lights?
Oh, you know what? We were just on final descent, so it was after the flight attendants had to be seated that the lights really came into view.
Did you announce it to the passengers?
The captain did announce it before we were landing, so they were aware that the lights were going to be on the left-hand side. So everybody was aware that they were lit up tonight, and they thanked us on their way out. It was a bittersweet landing tonight, that's for sure.
Okay, Sam.
Thank you for the call, Sam.
Hey,
bye-bye.
Take care.
Spy report. Spy report. Spy report.
This is for all the obsessed people, Fezzi. Stephen Baldwin won Celebrity Fear Factor.
Nice. Congratulations,
So
Stephen Baldwin.
we're so proud of Stephen tonight.
We knew he could do it. There was never a doubt in our minds.
No. So keep an eye on this kid. He's going places.
And we honor him.
I say he's the most feisty of all the Baldwins.
Well, precocious, sure.
Hey, Mike. Mike, you're on Run of Fez.
Hello, Mike. Mike, you're on the show.
How you doing?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
I just got tuned into your station about a couple of weeks ago, so I don't really know your name.
We're Nikki and Fifi. Nikki and Fifi. I'm Nikki.
How you doing, Nikki?
And then my wife Fifi is with me at all times.
How you doing, Fifi?
Good,
yeah.
thank you.
And also we talk about rearranging furniture and dinner recipes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm from the firehouse across the street from the World Trade. And I was there that day. You guys did a great job. I didn't realize how bad it was in the lobby.
Were you closer than the one?
I was on the 31st floor. I was partially in that movie you saw yesterday.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Now, what are we going to do about this chest of drawers, Mickey?
Nikki.
Nikki, I'm sorry.
Did you call me Mickey?
I should know my own husband's name.
See, I don't know if you guys touched on this already, but did you find yourself looking at the firefighters and the people during the documentary last night, just wondering to yourselves, did they make it out, or
You mean the other than the ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. They were pointing at some of them early on.
Really? Because I was doing that, and they mentioned like the Captain Pfeiffer's brother.
Yeah.
But did they ever mention whether he made it out?
No, he didn't.
No.
Okay.
No. Captain Pfeiffer's brother did not. They did say that at the end.
I'd actually read the story a long time ago before this came in, so I knew all those guys were going to make it. But I was surprised, and I knew that Pfeiffer's brother didn't, and that had to be so strange to act like I got all my guys, but I lost my brother. That's amazing.
Had to be very tough because they did a lot of that after the fact, too. The commentary, especially with the captain.
Yeah, with those interviews, and then, besides seeing the documentary, reliving it in those interviews. 877-692-1027.
Hey, Sean, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Sean.
What's going on, boys?
Yeah.
Now, tonight, around 7:30, I had to run out and do an errand. I live in central Jersey, around like an hour away from the city. So I was wondering if I could see the lights. I just happened to look up in the sky, and lo and behold, you could actually make them out. I mean, I'm like an hour away. So I drove down to like the Highlands area, and I tell you, it's normally dead there. It was the first time I was glad to see traffic. People were just lined up taking a look. It was unbelievable.
Now, Sean, when you see them that far away, can you make out two separate towers of light? Because we heard that a lot of times it just blends together.
I don't know if it was the angle of the thing. I could only see one light, but it's pretty cloudy here. You could really, like, the higher up in the sky, it was like the brighter you could see it. I tell you, it was really, I mean, I was up, I had never worked in there, but a while back I ate up the windows at the World, the top story, and I tell you, that was something.
Thanks.
Have a good.
You had a very good
quite
call
a view.
for you. Yeah. The silly thing of Windows in the World, where you just fell apart and Dan from Hoboken and Donuts.
One of the things I did notice, something you brought up, Fezzi, it's true, though, when at the base, they were distinctly apart.
Right, two towers of light.
But as they got higher up, I guess some kind of optical illusion or whatever, it just dissipates more. It did look like it became one big beam of light as it got further away from the ground.
Even when you're up close, huh?
Yeah, because when you're looking straight up at it, even though they are going straight, it seems like they are angling toward each other.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. It's Ron and Fez.
It's Ron and Fez. It's Ron and Fez.
It's Ron and Fez.
Obviously a major malfunction. 1027 WNEW.
NEW.
We're Ron and Fez. 6 months after 9/11, getting your thoughts on the new Tower of Lights Memorial. Billy Staples was down there earlier. He's back in studio now. And, of course, the 9/11 special that aired on CBS last night.
Here's Hot Liz.
Hey, Hot Liz.
Hey, guys. I went down to Sandy Hook tonight, because it's right near my house. And it's only 4.5 miles across the water from there to Manhattan, and the view is absolutely spectacular of the skyline.
You get a nice shot of the towers of light.
Yes, absolutely beautiful.
It almost looks like the skyline is back again.
It does. It's weird. It's almost good, but it's at the same time, it's kind of got that eerie look to it that it had like the first few days after, where there was the smoke there.
Yeah.
And it was like the Phantom Towers.
It's very ghost-like. It's very ghost-like. There's no other way of describing it. It looks like an apparition.
I wonder if that's what inspired this idea, because we never did find out who did this, right?
Somebody said it was some artist, and it also came. Remember, Time Magazine, New York Times Magazine had almost the same shot, maybe a week or two after on their cover.
Oh, okay.
Of the lights shooting straight up.
This idea came out pretty quickly originally about doing this, and that's why I was surprised that they actually did it, because originally it was vetoed, I thought.
I forgot about that with the plume of smoke and people seeing the Phantom Towers.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to say, too, is the house that the film crew was from, that the thing was on last night, is right across the street from Mark's apartment. So, like, we've always gone out and, like, gone drinking with those guys, even this summer before, like, any of this happened.
I doubt that there's anyone that's gone down that street that you haven't gone out drinking with.
Oh, stop it. But the men in that house they've always been so kind and so wonderful, and it really is just a miracle. Like, somebody's on their side that whole house got out of there. But absolutely amazing. It was just great. It was interesting to watch it last night. It just gave a completely different perspective on it.
And you probably smell the steaks when they're cooking.
Billy's starving.
Now I'm starving.
But man,
take care, guys. You're the best. Love you. Bye.
That early footage they had before 9/11, they were eating nice. When they were throwing those giant baked potatoes around.
Oh, and like this whole big flaming grill of just steaks.
I know,
It looked so good, and I felt so bad when the guy didn't make enough lamb for everyone.
One lamb shank for a whole.
I'll tell you, he would have got his ass whipped if I'm in there. Frenchie.
Quick, go buy more bread. The men are still hungry.
And that was such a great line of, these guys don't know how funny their ball busting is.
Hey, Clarissa.
Hey.
Hey, Clarissa.
Hi. How you guys doing?
Good. What can we do for you?
Good. My mom just turned me on to the show tonight. She's a long-time listener and pretty interesting just trying to get through. But I was just driving on the Garden State Parkway, and the previous caller just took the words out of my mouth. The view, it's spectacular. It's so nice. And
we haven't gotten one negative call tonight about the lights.
I know.
It's amazing the comfort people seem to be finding in this.
Absolutely. I don't know why there would be any negativity coming out of that.
How far down on the parkway were you when you saw it?
I was actually just passing Bada Bing just now, about 2 seconds ago in Lodi.
Yeah.
So we're, pretty close to the city. But we were far out there, and you could still see it from pretty far away.
All right, thanks, honey.
But you know what? I'm a little bit confused. I'm just not sure. I have a quick question.
Okay.
I want to know who was the pitcher and who was the catcher?
We both pitch and catch.
Oh, all right.
We're ambidextrous.
Nice.
Or Ambi Davis. I'm not sure which.
Did they?
Ambidextrous, Ambi Davis. All right. That's a good one.
Did they happen to mention, because I remember reading about the lights, why they're only going to be up for 31 days, or is it possible it's going to be extended at all? Or?
Well, obviously, sooner or later, they're going to put something on that site, buildings or whatever, and and I understand it's pretty damn expensive to do.
Or they said Con Ed's footing the bill for the...
Yeah, but there's also another $500,000 above that, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's a 32 days, and they picked that number to represent every country that lost someone in the attacks.
Oh, I did.
But I think after this happens, people will be thinking we'll have to think of something more permanent. Maybe it could be lasers or something,
Yeah, just based on this show and what we're hearing, it seems like people are going to want this to stick around.
Because it would almost be like losing it a second time after the 32 days.
No, don't start panicking, Billy.
No, it's not a panic. It's just an emotional thing, really.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, Ronnie. Hey, Fezzy. How you guys doing?
Good, Jack. Billy's very excited about what he got to see tonight.
He's turning a positive into a negative again.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm located down here on the Lower East Side, and I'm witnessing it from my rooftop, and it's absolutely moving. A very fitting, poetic, and somber response to what I had to witness from my rooftop 6 months earlier.
Sure.
Yeah, and another thing on the documentary the night before, one of the things that I felt was incredibly informative was that it profiled a phenomenon that I think most people forget to consider, the phenomenon of being a fireman and being in an occupation where you witness something that no other occupation is witness to in the world, and that is the act of people committing suicide against their own will. And what that must do to you when you see that in fires, it's a terrible thing. It was very, very moving and really, really painful. Really painful to see that when they were in the lobby of the Trade Center and knowing that they had to ignore that and continue to do their jobs. And yeah, that really got to me. That really got to me.
Thanks a lot.
An incredible, ungodly sound that was making. Of course, we all heard about people jumping to their deaths up in the upper floors that couldn't escape the fire, couldn't escape the devastation. I had no clue that's what it would sound like.
The amazing thing was, too, once they explained what it was, and then after that, none of the firemen spoke about it, but the look on their face, because they'd hear the crash, and they would all glance upwards like, oh, my God, another one.
Yeah, they'd all spin around to look, and it's like, then it got to the point where they'd hear the sound, they'd cringe, they knew exactly what it was, and they'd immediately go back to work.
Yeah, it was that second where they all looked up, and then, okay, back to the job at hand.
What do you got, Hawk?
Yeah, I was reading that they had to alter the sound because it was like 3 or 4 times the volume of what they actually...
Is that right?
Displayed.
Really?
Yeah, that was one of the things they had to alter because the sound was just so... overwhelming and so, just morbid. So
it was as loud as car crashes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to adjust the volume on it.
All right, thanks. Here's I say thanks like he's a caller. Oh God, I'm sick tonight.
Thank you, Hawk.
Thank you, Hawk. I'm going to move on now, Hawk.
He likes to be thanked. There's nothing wrong with that.
Hey, Gary, you're on the Fez.
Hey, Gary.
It's miraculous how one of the plane's engines flew 5 or 7 blocks outside the tower, lands on the sidewalk, and hurts not a soul.
That was another thing
strange.
I had no idea happened on 9/11.
Ron?
That the tower, that the plane came apart like that?
That the engine was, what, blocks away?
Yeah. He said like 7 or 8 blocks away.
And just sitting on a street corner.
Right, yeah.
Just sitting upright on a street corner like it was there all along, like a fire hydrant, you know?
That thing looked like it weighed about 700-800 pounds, too.
Yeah.
Here's Jimmy. Jimmy, you're on the Fez.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, hi, how you doing? Yeah, I'm a truck driver for Coca-Cola. I live up in Brewster, and I start at 8 o'clock, and on my way down, driving all the way from Brewster down to Elmsford, I saw the lights. And now I'm in Parsippany, New Jersey. And I'm telling you, you can see those lights all the way down. We just went out up onto the roof, Eric and I, and they were awesome. You're unbelievable. And anybody saying a bad word about Nextel, they really have no idea what they're talking about.
Thank you very much, Jimmy.
Thanks, Jim.
One of the things I saw, which I was surprised at during when the towers went down, was how dark it got. All of a sudden, you didn't realize that when the towers came down and that flood of debris came down the block, it became pitch black for these people. All you hear was the screech of the firemen's alarms because they go off and they don't move for a while. That high-pitched squeal.
Yeah, that darkness, and then when you see it, when they were inside the one tower, when the other one went down and the guy had his camera there, so dark just being inside that lobby, and then, of course, when the second tower came down, they were outside. You saw all those particles right in front of the camera lens flowing each way, and it did have an underwater look to it.
Yes, it did.
And you had no idea what that was either. Didn't one fireman say, like, he didn't even see a computer or a telephone or any kind of office equipment?
Yeah, you weren't finding anything whole, is what he was saying. That the most they found of a phone was part of the keypad.
And he's like, and how are we supposed to find bodies in this if equipment isn't even surviving this blast?
You know, the other thing that got to me was the papers, because I live up on the East River. My apartment looks at the East River. And, like, the next day I was seeing papers and just stuff in the water. And that totally broke my heart. Because, it's somebody's personal stuff. I don't know if you've ever been in a car accident and your stuff flies out.
Yeah.
It's a really terrible, vulnerable feeling, that is, to have your own personal stuff out like that. Or after a fire, when your furniture's out in the front yard and stuff smoldering and the neighbors are gathering around. That's how I felt for those people with all their office stuff. People's lives work.
One of the strange things was when the tower came down and they crashed and the captain jumped on top of the guy and his camera and a piece of paper blew right up against the lens.
Yeah, you could almost read it.
Yeah, now I was actually thinking about that going, this was sitting on someone's desk somewhere.
That's amazing with that impact, and they talk about the jet fuel and the explosion and the fire of how paper survives it.
Yeah, because
it's just getting blown out.
Yeah, I'm sure it did. I'm sure it just exploded like that.
And when you
like
see the
confetti.
pictures, it looks like all you saw was the paper, blowing out. Not realizing when you saw the documentary, the other stuff is just raining down on all the heavy debris. All we saw on TV was the papers. Not thinking that there's heavy stuff and particles and the actual windows and stuff falling right down on these guys.
Okay, Stephanie, you're on Run a Fez.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, sweetheart. I will just read a couple of poems right quick. Buckle knees. Today you made our country cry. Those hideous crimes you won't get by. Our buildings stood very tall. You did your dirt and made them fall. You made us stop and stood still. The way to peace was not to kill. You came over here to our shore, ripped our hearts right to its core. We love our country and people too, and honor our flag, red, white, and blue. You made us stop dead in our track. Nothing will stop us from coming back. What makes you think you've gotten away? For you, Mr. Terrorist, it's Judgment Day. And then the killer plane, the big apple that grew so tall. We thought it was too big to fall. Oh, how it was built to last, not knowing there was a snake in the grass. There was excuse me, there was more we did not know until at last terrorists put on a show. When part of the apple hits the ground, that's when we start running around, pointing a finger at you and me. He's not through. Just wait and see. He's going from city to city. The people he killed, what a pity. Thank you, sweetheart. Because before I got cut off, then thank you for letting me read my
Stephanie has, Earl's crime.
Right.
Earl, get over and say hi to your Aunt Esther. Earl, come on over.
Oh, there she goes. That was great.
That was cute.
That makes me miss the people bitching about Nextel.
Terrorist. Greasy. I'll whip your ass easy.
Well, we moving on up.
The instant feedback says, is that Muhammad Ali's mom? Am I the only one who got wood during that? No one else did?
Yes.
Tell me.
Yeah, I think you're alone on that one.
You are the only one, my friend.
I was sick up until then. Now I feel great.
I think I just caught it.
I'll whip your ass easy.
877-692-1027.
Sure, put that terrorist face in some dough and make gorilla cookies.
Wash your sucker.
Wash your sucker.
What rhymes with sucker?
Oh, we can't.
Nah.
No. Hey, Kimberly, you're on Run Fest.
Hello, Kimberly.
Hi.
Kimberly.
Hello.
Yeah, can we have your poem, please?
Hi. I just want to. I don't have a poem.
Oh.
I can see the lights though. We're in Hopatcon, New Jersey.
Nice.
Lake Hopatcon. We're about 30 miles southwest of Delaware Water Gap.
That's pretty far out there.
We're very far out there. And
that
we
is
can
out
see,
there.
It's
That's where you
very
go to vacation, right?
Yeah, pretty close.
You can see a very vague column of light in there.
Yeah.
So I just want to let you guys know. You guys are great.
Yeah,
she's only about 30 miles from Pennsylvania, and they can see
Yeah,
her.
we're up there.
All right, call us back when you write a poem. Hey, I remember the nights after the attacks. We would be in here just so beat up, and Earl would be in with us every night. And the only thing that kept us going was bad poems.
Oh, man. And we got plenty of them.
And we used to write the same thing. Some woman would always be writing, and we'd always write, what rhymes with C? Although we would write the whole term out.
And just hold it up for each other.
Not to be blunt, but it was always, what rhymes with the C word?
But those were
and it was the only thing that kept us going. It just that one little joke is the only thing that made us laugh.
Those were the tension breakers when you heard so many horrible calls from 9/11.
And there were so many of them. Here's Jack. Jack, you're on Run Fest.
Hey, Jack, go ahead.
How you doing?
Hey, buddy.
All right, I'm a Teamsters truck driver, and I was involved with taking the metal away from Staten Island to the scrap metal, where they would sell it. And all I can say is that it's amazing to see the I-beam of the World Trade Center right in front of you. And the day before, working in the World Trade. It's so amazing, and it just makes you think the destruction that no one could survive. To see all the twisted steel right at your feet. And, everybody deserves a big pat on the back for the effort. And, like I said, being ex-military, we need to go in and we need to get payback. We really do.
All right, thanks. I'm off for payback.
Let's do it. Is that a situation of we wrap up Afghanistan and then who's ever next on the list? Is that how this thing's supposed to work?
I'm going to say this after 6 months, Vez. 6 months ago, I thought I could.
Uh-huh.
I can't read George Bush.
No. I mean,
I don't know whether he's blank or a poker player.
Now they're saying we are wrapping up things in Afghanistan. But, I mean, is that a situation, and nobody knows, but is that where we have to go in and set up some sort of, make sure the people we want are in power and that's stable before we can do anything else?
I don't know if we even care.
Because that is, a war that'll go on forever.
I don't think we care that much about Afghanistan. I think we wanted those one bastards. I don't know whether we got him or not.
No, there's two guys they're still looking for, whether Bin Laden and Atta.
Well, it seems like our next thing is Iraq again.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rhetoric on Iraq is stepping up.
Yeah, especially coming out of England, and we'll see what happens. Dan from Villanova sent us a pizza, Fez.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. But I was thinking, why not put a cigar in there with it? And then
that's a nice topping.
We have a little something for after the pizza.
You could have brought some Oreos, too.
Again with the Oreos.
It's only Fezzy, huh?
Fezzy,
I'm
likes a nice cigar.
three-dimensional. All right?
Fezzy likes a nice Cuban cigar.
I love a cigar.
Then I'll take the Oreos.
But there's other things besides Oreos that Fez eats.
I know.
Let's go over them now, Fez. I know ham steak. You're big on.
I love a ham steak. That is so good to me.
Scrapple. You can't get enough of.
Right. Spam. Vienna sausages.
Any poke and poke products.
You eat Scrapple?
Yes.
Everybody eats Scrapple.
Oh, it's so disgusting. It's the other gray meat.
I love any byproduct. I'm in. Count me in.
The snouts and the toes is where all the taste is.
Sure.
God. When I was away,
which is amazing considering they're so far apart on the animal.
Yeah. Well, I think they scratch.
I'm away in Pennsylvania, and that's all they sell like for breakfast. They're going, y'all want Scrapple? I'm like, no.
They say y'all?
You're not in Alabama. Jesus, y'all want Scrapple?
Here in the Keystone State.
Hi, welcome to Harrisburg.
You got a friend here, Hershey.
Y'all welcome to Denny's.
Go eat some of that pizza and let's see if you get sick.
All right.
I'll be the food tester.
Yeah, like you got a problem doing that.
Let's see how quick you can eat one. Eat a slice while you're stapled.
Check that out.
Yeah. We've got to take a break here. And we'll come back with our last hour. People still want to talk about the lights tonight, Fezzy, and also the show that was on last night, 9/11.
So that's what we'll do. 877-692-1027 is our toll-free phone number.
Ron and Fez.
Ron and Fez. 1027 WNEW.
We're Ron and Fez.
Just hanging out tonight. I want to thank Billy Staples for sitting in on with us, because I just have no voice, Billy.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Ron.
So you feel free to babble on and say all your silly stuff.
You are from Babylon, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty close. Now I'm really in the guest comic.
You're the guest comic tonight. Make up your lies, whatever it takes. I don't care.
Sure. And see if you can get this on page 6 tomorrow.
Hey, Chuck. Chuck, you're on Ron and Fez. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Chuck.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Fez. How you doing?
Hey.
Hey. I listen to you guys whenever I get out to the East Coast. Anyways, I just want to let you know.
Thanks,
you guys
Jet Setter.
What's that?
Go ahead, buddy.
Okay. Hey, I just flew into Newark, and I'll tell you, it's totally different from the air. Once you get up above all the ground lights and everything else.
What's it look like?
It is awesome. It's like two white pillars just going straight up in the air. And
Fezzy, this might put the helicopter business back on the map.
Yeah, there you go. But, yeah, I mean, looking at it from the ground and looking at it from the sky, it's two totally different things. And I'll tell you, people on the plane, the pilot got on, and he said, if you look over to your left, you can see the memorial to the Trade Center. And the plane got totally quiet, man. People were just looking out the window, and it was unreal.
Thank you very much. I'm glad the city is doing something as a memorial service. Now, we were talking about the 9/11 show last night, and Earl told us he was not going to watch it, but then you ended up watching it, right, Earl?
Yeah, I was watching Lauryn Hill Unplugged.
Smart. Lauryn Hill Unplugged. You know what? With her, I'd rather plug her. Listen, Lauryn Hill. Says, girls and girls are only about that thing. How was the Unplugged show?
It was great. I only watched about an hour and 15 minutes of it. And partway through it, she said, she was just kind of doing like a in-between song thing. Right. And she said, the best way to deal with fear is through confrontation. And because most people retreat. Mm-hmm. She goes, the best way to deal with fear is to confront it and deal with it.
So you want to fight her?
No, it was just, that's why I didn't watch it. It was pretty much out of fear. Mm-hmm. And then it just kind of clicked in. I went, I need to watch this. And I put it on, and I pretty much watched the last hour and 45 minutes.
What were you afraid of?
Dealing with it.
Seeing it again. I'll tell you, there was at one point, just about where 9/11, I felt like I was having trouble catching my breath. I did a quick, uh-oh.
It's because, like, you know what's coming.
Right.
Yeah, it was so bad because, you're watching the footage of the guys in that lobby. Both towers have been, hit at this point. And you're like, please leave. Please just decide to leave now.
Yeah, that was the night before was with the Lamb, right? And they would hang up and they were laughing. They were ribbing the French guys. And the next morning, they had a mundane gas leak call.
Weren't we, it was the same kind of thing. Weren't we putting together some show for the 11th that was somewhat silly like that the same way? I remember
with the primaries, I believe.
It was something
it was
very...
election day.
No, there was something that we were planning to do that was very silly, and we thought it was very important.
Oh,
and we were mad at... Maybe Al will remember. Al?
There was something that had just... Well, I know Al had just knocked over the foosball table.
Oh, that was it.
That's
so,
what it was.
Come on in, Al. It was the big foosball situation with Al, and we were all acting like, oh, this is bad, or this is funny, or stop being... all that stuff. And the following day is like the Monday, I guess. Amazingly different mindset for us.
Right.
And I think this is great that you and Billy are putting aside your problems, Al.
Just for the one night. I mean, with the World Trade Center thing, but nothing's been really solved.
You guys got a meeting tomorrow?
I do, yes.
With who?
Jeremy and Ken.
Wow. Al's going to meet Ken tomorrow.
Wow, that's nice. Wear a name tag.
Now, shouldn't Billy be there since it's his...
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to meet with them first, and I'll see what they want to do.
Tell Ken that, from what I understand, Billy took a crap on his check.
Don't touch Mr. Stevens' check, Billy.
I think if you're going to be talking about me, I think I have a right to be there.
Please, Billy. You're here now, and I'm going to tell you you're an animal. Even though tonight you're down there talking about the lights, you're an animal.
Billy, is this a situation? I see you're back in the I Love New York T-shirts that you were buying 3 for $10 right after the tax. Are you back in that mindset from the 6-month anniversary? Because I know you get excited about stuff. And when you saw the Towers of Light tonight, you were right down there when they first went up. You started, it sounded like old Billy again.
I get very excited very easily about things, Fez. And I originally I wore it because I felt it was appropriate.
Uh-huh.
But after being down there and stuff, no, I couldn't have been happier that I did because it felt like this was the right thing for me to do in that old feeling of pride.
Was it like putting a nice T-shirt on a warthog animal, though?
No, not at all.
Because I think about you crapping the other night, and I don't think of a human.
Yeah.
Hey, Roy Hamptons is back downstairs. You went up on our roof to check it out, Roy?
Yeah, I went all the way up to the roof. Unfortunately, we couldn't take the elevator, so I had to walk the entire flight.
Why can't we take the elevator?
The guy said he didn't have the manpower to go up there with us, and it was very dark, and it's pretty windy up there. I almost got blown off the roof a couple times.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Sundown.
It was absolutely amazing, though.
You can see it good from our building on West 57th?
Oh, yeah. There's no buildings blocking it whatsoever. You look right downtown, and there's just 2 pillars of light just looking right at us.
My family called me and said that they went up on a roof of our building, the same type of situation. They said it was just gorgeous. I can't believe it because, so many times when someone tries to do a memorial thing, it just... it just doesn't work out. But this, it's almost like 100%.
Everyone seems to be thrilled to have something to look at.
Yeah.
It's really, I guess, touching the senses that way.
Hey, Carol. Carol, you're on Run of Fez.
Hi, Carol.
Hi.
How you doing?
Finally. I got a couple of things. The first thing, Ron, about the memorial and, the people remember in 6 months. This is only 6 months, and look at the feedback you get from it. I mean, that's how much it meant to the people. But
well, at least the people here in New York.
I can't. I'm out on Long Island, and I wish I could see them. But I'll be honest.
Why don't you go out and flash your porch light and just smoke half a joint?
I went outside and I looked, but I'm too far out. So these people that are saying 80, 90 miles, I don't know.
Long Island may be on the other side of the turn of the earth there. That's a big problem.
No.
Long Island's very flat. There's no high points.
Right. You start to fall off the side of the earth once you get to the end of Long Island.
No.
Maybe you're not looking the right direction. Turn around.
I checked all of them.
By the time we went out to that gig, we were driving out in Long Island so far, I couldn't even remember what New York looked like. I was crying.
No,
is Long Island so long that just turns into Maryland at one point?
Ron was expecting people to start talking in British accents.
I thought I was in Elkton, Maryland.
Calling was about the CBS special.
Yeah.
Okay. I watched it. I didn't think I would, and I loved it. I thought it was great. But what I don't get from all the shows today, all the specials, I was home all day, so I had the radio going, I had all the shows going, I had the television on.
Okay, what's the point of your...
The point is, people...
Fezzy, never wake me up when she's talking.
I couldn't hear about another appliance she
No,
owned.
listen, here it is. The thumb, the body
Awful.
falling. Okay, the way everybody's talking about that part of the show is making it like so trivial. Those were real people. Those are people that died, and it's a thump to the guy that watched it last night, but that's somebody's loved one, and it's like, you know, so much happened here. I just wish everybody would.
You think we all missed the fact that the people died?
No, I think everybody's starting to forget the fact that it was more than just the fire department. God bless him. My brother-in-law is a paramedic. He lost one of his best guys from his hospital and his ambulance. But there were a lot of people there.
All right, Carol, just to defend that special one more time. It was just about that one thing. It wasn't about the entire situation.
And Tony was great. I mean, it was a great idea to start out with, but it didn't end that way. So you got to look at it the way it
honey,
did
there'll be a lot more specials.
All right, if that's what you're concerned about.
Yeah.
The words that the one fireman said that kept ringing through my ears all night when he said something to the effect of, how bad does it have to be up there that jumping to your death is your best option?
Hey, for me, nothing scares me more than burning. That is my biggest fear. I got a couple scars on me from small burns, and it was the worst pains I ever had in my life. I got burnt with a cigarette when I was a kid. I got burnt like a little electric thing when I stuck my thumb. I went to check on a light bulb and it wasn't in there, so I stuck my thumb in. And it was already on. You know, like I'm clicking the light in the dark going, what the hell's wrong? And I stick my finger in the socket. And I was just like stuck there. That burn, there's no pain like it. I can't imagine not saying, F this.
Oh, I've been burned pretty bad, too. I was working underneath a car when a radiator hose exploded all over my arms and my chest.
Oh, that happened to my dad.
When it was hot, when I just had gotten back from the auto parts store and I forgot to release the pressure cap. You know, because I went right back underneath, undid the hose, and the hose burst off and burned all my arms and my chest with first-degree burns and blistered. And I remember screaming
it's
like
awful.
a
burn is a burn is the worst thing you can possibly get. You know,
horrible feeling.
Here's Doug. Doug, you're on Manifest. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, Doug.
Yeah. Hi, guys. How are you?
Yeah.
Good, buddy.
Good. Listen, I'm an emergency medical technician with the New York City Fire Department, and I saw the show last night. And that section when Tony was stuck in the firehouse and he was watching what was going on television, that feeling of hopelessness that he had. I know exactly how he feels because I was injured on the job 3 weeks before this happened, on the 11th. And here I was at home, out on line of duty injury, and I could not do a thing. I felt as useful as a broken light bulb, just like this guy Tony did before he finally went out and did something.
Yeah.
So I knew...
And that was kind of sweet that he left with the old chief. It was the...
Yeah, it really was. But I knew exactly what he was feeling at that moment.
Yeah, the old chief grabbed him, said, you come with me.
Let's go, kid.
But up until then, he kept running to the door of the firehouse like he just wanted to leave. And then he'd go back to the, I guess, the dispatch office.
How torn was that poor kid?
I did the same thing running to the front door of my house.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Doug.
I couldn't do anything. And another real sobering thing was a short time afterwards, I went back to work on light duty, and I was bringing relief crews back and forth to the landfill when they were bringing all the rubble back. And talk about a sobering moment is when I was driving it right into the landfill, and you saw all the rubble from the World Trade Center, and amongst all this rubble, I saw this one big jet engine sitting amongst all the rubble of the two towers. It was one of the scariest things I have ever seen or felt in my entire life. I don't think I will ever feel anything like that ever again, and I hope I never do.
I hope not too, my friend.
Please. I think... Go ahead, Billy.
No. Yeah. How torn was that poor kid Tony, though, when he was back at the firehouse answering the phones, and they kept showing him putting on his gear, ready to run, then taking the gear off, saying, I can't leave the firehouse empty.
Right.
And then the fireman instincts putting on the gear. It's like, this kid had only a month's experience. What the hell, he's like, what the hell do I do? All his buddies and stuff that he became so close with are down there, and he's sitting there answering phones.
I wonder if anybody but that old chief would have told him, let's go, if he would have been in trouble for that.
I think a lot of people felt like that when it happened, though. Like, what do I do? You're sitting at home, you're watching it happen, and you're like, what do I do? Can I do anything to help? And I mean, a lot of people did. I remember sitting there watching it and just yelling at the TV and, like, pacing back and forth, kind of the way Tony did, just, not knowing what to do,
Roy, why didn't you just come to work?
I know, you could have done that much.
That would have been a good thought.
You'd have been the next Billy Staples.
Well,
then you'd be in the Billy seat.
The trains weren't running, and,
Yeah, but, the trains weren't running, but the thing is, it's like, there's no place other than a media outlet on something like that happens that you'd want to be.
I definitely wanted to come in, I just,
Billy got in, and he's your next-door neighbor.
It doesn't matter. Why don't you get your dad to rent you a gold limo and have you drive in?
That way. Build a gold bridge.
His family has their own expressway?
Really?
Yeah. Wow.
Man.
He's loaded.
God, the money. Swimming in it.
Here's Mike. Mike, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hello, Mike. Mike?
Yes.
Yeah, buddy, you're on the air, pal.
Good evening, guys. How you doing?
Yeah.
Go ahead, pal.
I'm over here in Union Beach, New Jersey, just checking out the memorial.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real eerie sight. All the planes seem to be heading right towards the light. It's just weird and surreal.
I wonder how quickly we'll become used to this, Fez. I wonder if we're going to be able to just say, oh, yeah, that's just the lights.
Right. I think they're going to be gone so quick in our minds. 32 days doesn't seem that long anymore.
No, it doesn't.
So please, take a chance, an opportunity to go look at them.
Hey, Kevin. Kevin, you're on Manifest.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, guys. What's up? I was just going to report from the my angle from maybe 175th Street. From this area, I can see the City Corps building, and then immediately to the right is the blue dome of the Empire State Building, and right next to it, the lights are like shooting up.
Yeah.
All right. But what I'm actually seeing is more like the lights. I guess it's the spectators because I was down there earlier, and the lights, the people take it from the cameras. It gives off that firework effect that, like, how you see the flare goes up and then the after effect with the little sparks. So that right there kind of looks incredible in and of itself.
Tell us what Kevin's saying.
Yeah.
What's he talking about, Fez?
The cameras are going off like flares.
On the Empire State Building?
No, on near the lights. If people are taking pictures of the lights.
And you can see this from the Bronx?
Yeah.
You can see flash bulbs going on.
Right.
All right, did you eat radioactive carrots?
On Wednesday.
Like on Gilligan's Island.
Thanks a lot, my friend. Here's Vinny. Vinny, thanks for holding so long, my friend. Vinny, you're on the Ron and Fez show.
Go ahead, Vinny.
How you doing, guys?
Yeah.
I'm an operating engineer, and I work downtown, about 2.5 blocks away from the Trade Center. And I seen the second plane hit, seen the buildings fall. Had the presence of mind to run downstairs by a camera and take some of the most awesome pictures probably that haven't been seen yet. And a couple of friends of mine, the building we work in has one of the New York City mayor's offices in it, and we put on a couple of policeman shirts just to be a little bit nosy to see actually how bad the situation was. And we were standing in front of the firehouse across the street. A police lieutenant came over to us and told us, you guys get up on that pile and help the guys, go relieve the guys that have been up there for eight hours, So instead of worrying about getting arrested for imitating a police officer, we wind up going up on a pile for about 10 hours and working side by side with the rescue workers on the bucket brigade. And after watching that special last night, it made me feel real good about what we did,
About grabbing a camera first and then dressing up like police.
With stolen shirts.
Yeah, Vinny, you're a hero. We're all real proud of you. I think that's what David Bowie was thinking of when he wrote Heroes. I think he was thinking of Vinny.
How eerie was that when they finally started the Bucket Brigade? And then all of a sudden everyone goes shh, 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 and then because they thought they heard something.
Yeah.
And in the middle of all this devastation and destruction, you didn't hear anything. Yeah. That to me was like unbelievable that these people could do that because somebody thought they heard something.
It was the most awful thing. Hey, Michelle, you're on Manifest.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, guys.
Hey, babe.
I watched the special last night, and I just want to say that I thought it was awesome to begin with, the way that they just covered everything. and they did it very tastefully, that they didn't show anything that was, bodies. I know I heard a lot of people saying that they were going to show a lot of bodies. But the one thing that I had really thought was the eeriest thing about the whole show is when they showed the first plane that hit, the sound of the engine.
Terrifying.
You never heard that in all the video that you've seen of
And
it.
just how puzzled the guys looked.
Yeah.
And how quick the chief there jumped on his radio and said they did this on purpose. This thing purposely went into it.
And they said the plane was full throttle, too. That was one of the things that they were saying, how the engines were totally revved. It was full speed.
Yeah. And you hear the chief saying they aimed it directly at the tower.
Yeah, he called it right away. That's true. The chief did.
Just that you heard it and everything. I just thought it was the most eerie thing out of the whole video. And, I mean, I know that you saw the pictures of people falling from the building, which I definitely would have done because I'm scared to death of burning. But you just didn't hear that plane, and you finally hear it, and it's like, oh, my God, this is what people heard when they were in there.
That's true.
So that's all I wanted to say, guys. But thanks for covering everything. You've been so great about everything.
Okay, we'll talk to you later.
Good
Thanks
night.
for the call, Michelle.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back. It's Ron and Fez Show.
Ron and Fez. 1027 WNEW. NEW.
Ron and Fez here with Billy Staples talking about Sam Adams beer.
Yeah, love it. Spring ale, baby. Love it. This is my time of year. NCAA tournament, 64 teams, March Madness, baby.
65.
64.
They had that playoff game.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Billy.
Okay, the college basketball tournament kicks off this Thursday, 3/14. Basketball, it's a great American pastime. And Sam Adams, it's a great American beer. They go hand in hand. There's no better way to celebrate your favorite team's victory than with America's best tasting beer, Sam Adams. Observation that Sam Adams seems to be a popular choice at bars and parties these days? Well, grab some Sam Adams for your big game party and get the party going.
You just read the stage directions.
Okay, I'm new at this.
You're just supposed to make an observation, not read the word observation. All right, be a better beer drinker. Drink a better beer, Sam Adams. It's America's world-class beer. Jim Cook, we owe you one.
Ron and Fez. 1027 WNEW.
We're Ron and Fez, 877-692-1027.
Fezzy, our friend Allie's on the phone right now.
Hey, Allie.
Hi, guys. How are you?
We're fine tonight, sweetheart. What's going on?
I just wanted to tell you that we decided to take a drive in from Long Island and to look at the lights. And on the top of the Kosciuszko Bridge is like a perfect view of downtown Manhattan. And you can just see those lights, and it's really amazing to see. Very, very cool. And it kind of brings back that reference point as to where the towers were located downtown.
One of the things was you would, as you look in downtown, you would tend to forget exactly where they were situated among the other buildings.
Exactly.
And definitely how tall they were compared to those other buildings.
So would you go right over the BQE alley and
Yeah. We took like the expressway down to the BQE and headed south, and then you just go right, like the first exit is right over the bridge, and traffic on the bridge was like pretty much stopped because you could tell everybody was just slowing down and looking.
Were a lot of people were they like pulling over like they do for fireworks and stuff?
Not really pulling over, but definitely going slow. I think we were crawling at about maybe like 20 miles an hour over the bridge, and then once you got over the bridge, then it just picked back up again. The speed picked back up. But just like right up on the top, looking is a great view of downtown, and you could just see them perfect.
All right, sweetheart.
So I just wanted to call and tell you.
Thanks, Allie. Take care.
Hey, Joanne, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hi, Joanne.
Hi.
Go ahead, honey.
Yeah, me and my friend Nicole just came from the base of the light towers. I just wanted to share that with you. It's absolutely amazing. We drove in from Long Island, too, and we followed the lights and went right underneath them. And it was...
That's what Billy Staples was telling us. We sent him down earlier for right as soon as they were lit, and he said it's just as amazing view being there where they're lit as seeing them anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. It was just incredible. I got some great pictures.
You could get real close to them, right?
Oh, we were right underneath them.
Yep.
Like right where the base of the lights are.
It's a lot different when you're sitting underneath them and you're just looking straight up instead of seeing them from a distance. It
was incredible.
It's funny. People all over the city are like moths now. It's like everyone's moving toward the lights.
They're drawn
to
it.
Closer and closer and closer.
Hey, Mark. Mark, you're on Run of Fez.
Hello, Mark. Mark, go ahead, buddy.
How you doing?
Hey, man.
On the documentary last night, remember there was a part where one of the older guys were talking about the probies would come in and they'd either be a black cloud or a white cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy was the whitest cloud they ever saw. And you'd say maybe after this happened, well, that white cloud's gone now. After this is his first fire, it's like what happened at the Trade Center. But the fact is, every one of those guys came back to the station house alive.
And he was the last one to come back.
Yeah.
But they also said, they talk about you get a black cloud probie in there. Man, it's just a bad fire after bad fire. It doesn't stop. With the white cloud, though, they go, man, if it goes too long without a fire, you know something really bad is coming.
Oh, we forgot to do this all night.
That tastes yummy.
I can't believe that we got in this conversation. Forgot all about Melly.
So there's your moan, 877-692-1027.
So, Billy, you were straight up about how big are the lights? How many are we looking at?
There are 44 in each
bank.
Each bank of lights, to represent each tower, and the lights themselves take up a 50 square feet. Each light itself is not as they say they're like spotlights. You know those big spotlights they have for openings?
Right.
Place these huge things. They're a lot smaller than that.
Okay.
I would say maybe a real big hubcap or a truck tire, maybe like a truck tire. That's if you could compare it to size-wise, the circumference. But they're all on scaffolding about 10 to 15 feet up in the air and pointed directly up.
And one guy called us early in the show, and he said, it takes a while for them to heat up to full, I don't know what you call it, capacity of light.
Yeah.
And it takes a while before they actually kick in full strength.
Hey, John. John, you're on Run of Fez.
What's up, boys? I heard the moan.
All right, John. There's the winning cowbell, John.
All right.
All right, you hold on the line, Johnny. You're going to the big-ass prize closet. You're going to get a 4-pack of WWF tickets to the Continental Airlines Arena. That's for Thursday, March 28th. It's Hogan, Hall, and Nash making their NWO debut at the first Continental Airlines Arena WWF date of the year. Tickets are available at the box office, all Ticketmaster locations, and Ticketmaster.com.
And they'll be at WrestleMania this week, Fez?
Yeah, WrestleMania this Sunday.
The old world order. Here they are.
The OWO.
What a rerun this looks like to me. Why don't they just get Crazy Legs to come in with them, or maybe Jim Thorpe? That's what it looks like. It's like Jim Thorpe shows up and starts to challenge the Patriots.
It's a seniors tour.
Here's Scott.
Hello, Scott.
What's up, buddies?
What can we do for you, Scott?
How's it going? Yeah, I'm actually at the lights right now, and it's really amazing. It's kind of like if the bat signal was like all the way up.
Yeah, it does have kind of a bat signal look about it. And maybe we can do that if we ever really just want to try to see if that works.
I know.
Maybe for the last night we'll put the bat signal up there.
Seems to work so far. All we need is a little bat insignia.
It'd be interesting to see.
Why, Billy?
Why? Because now we get to see if Batman is real or not.
He's not.
What?
Although the commercial for the new Spider-Man looks great, Fuzzy.
Oh, man, that does look cool.
You saw the commercial for the new Star Wars last night?
Yeah, the 2.5-minute preview.
I don't think it looks as good as the new Spider-Man. It doesn't look like there's as much action.
There was a lot of stuff that nothing like grabbed at you with the 2.5-minute Star Wars.
Seemed like you saw it last time.
Right, we've seen lightsabers and everything, but I guess Jango Fett is supposed to grab our attention in this one. Boba Fett's father.
Was NSYNC in it?
No, they're not going to be in that movie.
Yeah. You got to keep up, Billy. Sorry.
You were doing so good. You're coming in the finish line with your wheels off, big man.
Billy, he got the shot that Joe Pooh wouldn't go for. Mm-hmm. Now Joe's sitting in the other room, in the production room, smoking cigarettes.
Working on his lung capacity.
Right. Here's Dan. Dan, you're on Run of Fez.
Hello, Dan. Go ahead, buddy.
Hello?
Dan?
Yeah, I was wondering what you guys think about what they're going to do down the road here. with rebuilding. And, you know, I work construction, and my first reaction was rebuild them and add an additional floor to each building, you know, just as an act of defiance. But now I don't think that's really appropriate. I think it's more like hollowed ground. Wouldn't build something over a cemetery. And what do you guys think? I'm torn. I don't know what to think about the whole thing. What about putting these lights on top of the building?
Yeah,
that they do.
Personally, Dan, I agree with your first thing, that you got to build that thing bigger just for the other people. And as far as hollowed ground is, to me, you're talking about the United States when you say hollowed ground. And I would say these Zephyrs, no, we're not backing down. Tom Petty was right. We don't back down. But I'm sure I'm very much in the minority there. When I hear most people talk, they're telling me, oh, I would never be up in that high building again. That place is going to be a target.
I don't think for practicality purposes they're going to build them that tall again.
Yeah.
When it comes to looking at things like having to lease the space. There's people that won't put their offices, and there's people that won't go to work at offices that are that tall again.
What if they
I guarantee you, though, Fezzy, you'd sell that building out again. I know everyone feels that way today, but no time at all. You know, I'm sure after the Titanic, people said, I'll never take a big cruise ship across the northern seas. It's crazy.
What do you guys think of this? What if they went 50 stories or so and then either built a facade going up that high or put those light banks on top of the buildings and have them, you know...
what would be the point of building a facade? That would be the memorial?
Yeah, or something. I don't know. And just the skyline. I'm from Jersey, and the skyline, it kills me to look over there. I never knew the city without those.
Yeah.
And it just breaks my heart looking at it.
I think if you build something not tall again as they were, you might as well just put a big bullseye on the side of it.
So you're saying no to it?
I would not build something as big as it was before.
Because you're afraid?
Yeah, I would think that there would be people out there the minute it's done. It's like, you know what? It's a target.
But doesn't everything in this city and across the country have a big bullseye on it now? The Empire State Building, Yankee Stadium?
You're not going to live large. You're not going to wear your new jacket to school because the bullies are going to throw crap at you? F that, man.
Yeah,
I say just the opposite.
I don't know. I just think that would be something that would totally be number one in their crosshairs.
Spy report.
So what? F them.
Spy report.
All right, Fezzi's got a spy report for us.
All right, it's just been announced that David Letterman, I guess, said on his TV show tonight that he is staying at CBS. He won't be going to ABC. He told him Tuesday afternoon at his late show taping that he plans to stay with CBS.
Tuesday afternoon? That would have been today, right?
Right.
It would have been a Monday afternoon.
Huh.
Yeah.
Typo in the article. I went ahead and read Tuesday.
Who's the guest tonight?
Who's on there?
Ted Koppel.
Yeah, that's funny. That's very funny.
I don't see who the guest was.
Ted Koppel was yelling, yay, and Howard Stern's yelling OF, and Jon Stewart has to call Comedy Central back and say, no, I am signing.
So Letterman's joke was, I got a call today offering me the Tonight Show.
Ray Romano will be on tonight.
Oh, jeez, that'll keep me from watching.
Wow, it's all CBS, huh?
Oh. You know a little impression there, Billy?
Very bad.
Let me hear it.
Oh, I could have been the next host.
That's Kermit. Here's Sean, 13-year-old boy. He's calling us Sean.
Hey, Sean.
How you doing, buddy?
I just wanted to talk about how Tony came down, and he said to the guys, I never want to have to put that flag half-mast again.
This is the young rookie in the firehouse last night who they kind of showed two different scenes. One, when they lost a fireman in Staten Island, he had to take the flag and put it at half-mast. And then, of course, at the end of the show, he was putting it on half-mast for all the firemen in New York. Yeah, what about it?
It was just, like, really bad. And then how fast it went from light to dark when the dust just covered everything.
Yeah, that was pretty frightening.
And at the end, when they played Danny Boy with all the pictures.
Yeah.
That was rough.
That was the only part I couldn't watch. I couldn't watch that end with the pictures and stuff, with the music and the pictures of the firefighters.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had to leave the room at that point. I watched it up until then.
I think the thing that got me most is when the two French filmmaking brothers were reunited.
Yeah.
And then they were just kind of standing there, talking, leaning. And then the other brother couldn't stand it any longer and just grabbed his bro.
Yeah. Well, I think those guys were amazing. I mean, I was talking about the firefighters and stuff, but what you're looking at here is two guys who were not trained, who were not firemen, and they were there every inch of the way filming and stuff. What are the odds of finding two brave Frenchmen?
Is this JC or Jace here? No, I can't tell.
I think it's Jace.
Jace.
Jace?
Yeah, it's Jace.
Okay, go ahead, Jace.
You know, I was just wanted to say that, you know, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me that those towers would be a bullseye, because if that was the case, don't you think, like, the Malaysian Twin Towers would have been hit, and, you know, the Sears Tower and all the other skyscrapers in this country would have been hit?
They've worried about the Sears Tower from time to time. But also, does that mean that we don't put the president in the White House? We got to keep him hidden because we're afraid of other countries? You got to say F you to them, man.
Yeah.
We got to stand up to these guys, Billy.
I just think I still want to build something there, you know, office buildings, a memorial, but I would not go high again. Like
If you don't go high, you're not going to be able to see this thing. What kind of memorial is that going to be?
I know the thing we're learning tonight from the Towers of Light is it's very good for everyone. Everyone feels great about having a memorial that everybody can see.
I always thought the whole reason to live in New York was to be the biggest and the best. Have the best of everything, the best baseball team that everybody gets pissed at. What are you going to do, get rid of the Yankees because
hell no.
The other teams don't like them?
No, but I think that there could be other options. You could build the biggest and best something else. It just doesn't have to be the tallest.
Billy, you don't seem like Billy Staples.
Oh, I'm Billy
We're not going to go with the widest
I'm just
building.
being cautious. I'm just being cautious.
I don't get that, Fuzzy. The widest building ever.
We're just not going to do that.
That's stupid.
Now, Billy, seriously, would you go up in the Empire State Building right now?
Yeah.
You don't think that's a target?
You're not afraid of doing that? That it could be attacked?
I just think that in the time you spent to build another World Trade Center, or call it whatever they'll call it again, you know, the minute that reopens, what kind of a mind effing would it be to the American people to go after the thing that we just rebuilt that they destroyed in the first place?
Yeah, but you got to stand up to that.
Right. What kind of mind effing is it to the guys that did this? That on September 11th of this year, the Pentagon's going to reopen. Fully rebuilt.
Billy wants to change that and turn that into a strip center.
Not a bad idea.
I don't get you, Billy.
He'd like to turn that into a quadagon.
I'll put
5
this out.
sides. It's just too much.
This is not the other anniversary for Billy. This is the day he started again.
Oh, yeah, 6
This is
months
the day
ago.
he flipped his chip, as he calls it.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Forgot about it.
No, I did. I forgot that this was the day 6 months ago.
Forgot or blacked out?
That's the day you took a crap on your chip. On your 10-year chip.
Pretty close. Figuratively, yeah.
And
Literally.
Literally, like you did. And then wiped it on your sponsor.
Mm-hmm.
Like you did the poor Al. I liked Billy up until he started to turn puss on me. I never thought I'd see that.
I'm not a puss.
I liked him till he started throwing his crap around like they use in the Bronx Zoo.
You want a fat guy?
I had no idea that's what it took. And I speak out against it.
Hey, Richard, you're on Manifest.
Richard.
Ronnie, Fezzy, how you doing, boys?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Rich.
I watched the program last night. I thought it was incredible. I thought it was very, very well done. And I hope people never forget what happened. But interestingly enough, now I could be wrong. I am not at home right now, but when Tony was leaving the firehouse, remember when he was freaking out? He didn't know what to do?
Yeah.
And the fire trucks were all gone, so he hitched a ride on a red pickup truck. And the cameraman was with him, panning around, watching people walking around. Giuliani was actually in the crowd walking past him, if you can believe that.
I don't think it was. I think they would have pointed that. Earl, you're saying yes?
Yes. He was leading everyone away, and they were going toward... He was moving people away from the buildings.
What are you saying, Bill?
No, I'm saying that wasn't Tony in the pickup truck. Tony left on foot with the old captain, because when the French filmmaker went out, they were already around the corner. These were the reserve firefighters who came in at the last minute. They were the guys in the back of the pickup truck.
And you think you saw Giuliani in there also, though?
I didn't see Giuliani.
Yeah, neither did I, but Earl claims he did, too. I'll have to watch it again. I have it taped at home.
Absolutely. Watch when the red pickup truck.
All right.
Okay. 877-692-1027.
Hey, Doug. Doug, you're on Ron and Fez.
Hey, Doug. Doug.
Derek.
It's Derek. Okay.
Derek, no problem. Yeah, I'm from about 10 miles north, Ossining, New York, of the Tappan Zee, and I drove to West Side Highway today. My girlfriend lives in Hoboken. We right down, went to that nice park in Hoboken, but all the way up the West Side Highway, you can see the lights coming up and down.
Yeah, the lights will be on till 11 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, they do. That was Giuliani, though, by the way. I saw
was
that
it?
to myself. Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot.
I did tell you. You got nice dark glasses on. Guys, take it easy. Ronnie, don't sound so good, bro.
Nah, I'm a little sick tonight. I'm going to head straight out of here.
The West Side Highway actually is very close to where they have the lights set up. It's very, very close. It's like only maybe 1 block from there.
Isn't that where you were drinking the day of the 11th?
No, that's where I was cheering.
Everybody else was running towards the fires. Billy's running towards the bar.
Billy was running towards the fire water.
We all handle stress in different ways.
Well, here's the alarm.
Squad 51, Engine 51.
Maybe we ought to set up a grill here and all of us have dinner after the show every night. Steaks.
Oh, nice. 'Cause that was the sweet part of that documentary was, the guys sit down for dinner every night together.
How about the one point the guy goes, "Here you go, Proby, here's your fire," when the steaks were like flaming.
Right there on the grill.
Yeah.
You've been waiting to go to a fire. Here it is. That's what a fire looks like. God.
Well, 6 months from today is when it happened. The lights went on tonight. It was nice to hear so many people calling on and digging a Fezzy. We'll be back to our normal kind of show tomorrow night.
That's right. We'll be back. And it was just really cool that they had something, that they had these lights ready to go for the 6-month anniversary.
Now, we had every plan on doing a normal show tonight because we talked about the 6 months a little bit on Thursday. But the fact of the matter is, our phones lit up at 7 o'clock with people wanting to talk about this, and never once did I look up and saw that we had an empty spot. So maybe from time to time, we'll check back on to see how everybody's doing.
All right. So, for Ron and Fez, thanks for calling in tonight. Thank you for sharing once again with us.
Normal show tomorrow.
All right, we'll be back at 7 tomorrow, right after Opie and Anthony. We're Ron and Fez. Never forget.